and have his testicles cut off. I'm going to get to that later. And the fact that, of course, Georgetown will probably give this professor a medal. Or the fact that they're actually putting on the news anonymous letters sent to Congress saying Brett Kavanaugh and another man raped a woman in a car. Well, hell, on the show Homeland, a character they admit is supposedly Alex Jones is a racist and tries to bomb the White House. People run into me on the street and they think I'm the Homeland character. They actually are mad at me for the TV show on Showtime. That's the mental illness. That's the mind control. No, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into the end of innocent until proven guilty. I'm not going to get into all of the Hollywood harpies running around foaming at the mouth saying, believe women, all men are pigs, all men are monsters. This is all divide and conquer mind control. Oh, and surprise, surprise. When you research all this, you look deeply into it, hiding in plain view, the most incredible information is right there in front of us. And the fact that they would try something like this is the most outrageous crap I have ever seen, period. In fact, it's so stunning, I can't even be on air right now. I'm going to have to go off air. I'm not doing this for dramatic purposes. I'm going to have to compose myself to even be able to cover this. And I will need document cam shots when I do it. So I am going to go off air at this point, and I'm going to come back in the next segment, and I'm going to do my very, very best to be on air. And I'm going to do my very, very best. I'm going to do my very, very best to cover this information here on air. And, you know, you talk about dropping the ball. This has been hiding in plain view the entire time.
Bust them.
And the fact that they would try something like this.
Oh, they're fucking evil bastards.
It just shows how stupid they think we are.
Yeah, we're stupid, all right.
So I'm going to start the next segment, and I'm going to get into this information. And then I'm going to get into China's worst nightmare, Impact 2020, the South China Sea drill. I'm going to get into 6-year-old school pupils write gay love letters to learn to accept diversity as the sexualization and brutalization of children accelerates and intensifies. We're going to get into the NAFTA renegotiation and the surging U.S. economy. We're going to look at so many angles. Also, Millie Weaver got footage last night that's going to be going up on Infowars.com. Because that's part of our reporters sending in videos to us, is putting it on Infowars.com. I'm going to go make sure that happens. Of a man who lost some of his family to illegal aliens, confronting a bunch of pro-illegal alien demonstrators who are out there protesting Trump. That's extremely powerful footage as well that we're going to be airing here today. And there's a lot more as well. But I want to first get into this report by John Bound. Antifa's new blend in and attack strategy. Because this is the new public preparation they're making on Facebook and Twitter with large organizations run by major professors organizing the next phase, especially if they don't win the election, of going out and engaging in massive attacks like we saw on the congressional baseball team, resulting in Congressman Scalise almost dying, the attacks you've seen on Rand Paul and many others. That's their plan. So here's the latest report up on Infowars.com so you can share it. Antifa's new blend in and attack strategy.
Alex Jones on Twitter posted this week what essentially is a video calling for people to get their battle rifles ready against the media, saying it's time to act, it's got to be done now, move criminally against people. sent a chill up my spine. How about yours?
It did. I mean, there's a number of actions that we believe help call to incitement to violence, and those are the things that we need to make sure that we're taking action on.
California's omniscient social media royalty would protect us all from questioning the narrative. But when it comes to fueling the violence of the left, all bets are off. Hey, quick little question for military-minded lefties. Should leftists train, organize in an insurgent focus where they blend into a civilian population for potential attacks, or a more militia structure focused on holding, maintaining turf? He then suggests using concealable weapons as Antifa blends into the general populace in order to do more covert damage. From the Guillotine podcast, which has 250 Patreon supporters and 15,000 Facebook followers, Dr. Bones openly calls for leftist terrorism to be waged against an innocent American citizenry simply exercising their rights, with the hopes of, as one responded to the Dr. Bones Twitter account regarded as, a big kill.
Mike Adams warns conservative senators, Supreme Court justices, unhinged left planning kill team home invasions to execute you and your family. That's his headline. I'd make it even better. Mike Adams isn't warning you. Mainstream leftist Democrat websites that Twitter allows to operate are openly planning. Democrats publicly plan kill teams to kill Republican and conservative leaders. I mean, that's your real headline. I don't with Mike's headline. It's great. I'm glad he wrote the article. I'm just saying, it's not him saying it. It's not him warning. They're the ones saying they're going to do it.
Next of the rich and powerful, destined for the guillotine.
Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary folks, and comrades of all stripes and tendencies, it is time for another edition of the most dangerous podcast from inside the ever-heating oven we call planet Earth, the Guillotine. Yes, remember, folks, it isn't just the Oath Keepers. They are looking to train other groups, such as the Proud Boys and the Patriot Prayer, which they love so much, in military tactics, how to run neighborhood watches, which, at least in Florida, is code for keep black people out of our community with guns, how to run security, how to put down leftists. These people are training to kill you. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, Bones, you're just too much. I don't know how more clear you want it.
The corporate globalist media is deliberately driving Americans into a bloody civil war in a desperate attempt to destabilize the nation, invoke shooting on the streets, and ultimately call for the United Nations peacekeeping troops that will depose President Trump under Strong Cities Initiative, an attempt to disarm the entire U.S. civilian population, formerly for America, the people on 100 plus million firearms and have a Second Amendment right to defend their nation against foreign invaders, period.
According to his website, Marxism and Satanism are synonymous with his openly violent rhetoric, calling for the slaughter of innocent Americans. Of course, this appears to be fine and dandy to the self-righteous tech gods in Silicon Valley, who are distracted by their laser focus on banning information that doesn't follow the Mockingbird media narrative. John Bound reporting.
You keep coming through, but I don't come through promoting the products. X2 is the best halogen. It's the purest iodine you can find on the market. It's in the palm oil. It's organic. We get it from oil companies that get it at 7,000 to 12,000 feet. And it's part of the industrial sabotage we're under, that these companies always find out who we are. They're going to jack up the prices and play games. And I broke the contract, so that's it for next day. Opening another company, we're working on it. It looks like we've got some ideas, but it's going to be a while till we get more in. It'll be under a new name. When you reformulate under the FDA rules, you got to change the name. But this is the last run of Survival Shield X2. Get it, experience why so many people are deficient in it. 4.9 star reviews, 6,000 plus reviews, 98%. Nobody else has got that on Power Reviews. So InfoWarsStore.com. We have some of the new specials. I just haven't got rid of this one yet. 40% off the amazing nootropic Rainforest. People love it. It's excellent. 40% off Secret 12, highest quality organic B12. BuzzFeed tested it. Said, oh, his is real clean and real good, but the best is this. Well, ours is the private label of what they said is the best in the country. What morons. price. Oh, and ours is $10 less than what Jeff Bezos sells. The point is, these are products you need: air filtration, water filtration, non-GMO heirloom seeds, books, t-shirts, videos. I've got the new George Washington Venus Prime Indian War shirt that great patriots in a local military group designed and put together. It's got him with the tomahawk and the musket. So that's another bestseller. And these are limited editions at InfoWarsStore.com. Everything's game-changing at InfoWarsStore.com. So yes, I don't keep extending for 3-4 days the sale on X2 because, it's just, it's our last day, it's our last day. I have been so busy on air. I'm so busy, like a one-legged man in a you-know-what contest. This is the last day to get X2. I gotta go do the specials right now. I'm
Hey, what's up,
the t-shirts too. So sign up for auto ship. And yeah, even if the X2 sells out, we're gonna hold back for one more shipment. Whoever signed up for auto ship, you'll get an additional 10% off. That's one way to make sure you get the next run of X2 as well.
Be remiss if I did not tip my hat to our sponsors. We have 40% off our bestseller Brain Force here at Infowars.com. Brain Force Plus, actually. Can I get some of this stuff sent to me? Hey, staff of Infowars, I want to try all of this. Send me like a test package of like 10 of your best stuffs. And yes, stuffs is the plural of stuff. For limited time left, we're giving you 40% off on our best-selling nootropic Brain Force Plus at Infowars.com. Brain Force Plus is one of our highest rated and best-selling Infowars Life formulas ever. And the Infowars crew uses it every day. I deal with the Infowars crew on a regular basis, and they do seem particularly sharp. I had suspected Adderall, but now I find out that it's something better. This formula uses ingredients known to boost your mind and thinking process. Whether you're stocking up or trying it for the first time, now is the time to head to InfoWarsStore.com and take advantage of these great savings. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and get our bestseller, Brain Force Plus, for 40% off before we run out of stock to avoid missing out on massive savings. Now, I will be getting this from the staff at InfoWars for free because I'll be such a positive thing to endorse it. If I don't like it, though, I'm not going to say it sucks. I'll just say, maybe it was me, could be psychosomatic, didn't do nothing for me. But I have a feeling it will do something because I'm very sensitive to drugs. That's why I can't smoke pot anymore. It's too intense. My God, have you tried what the kids are smoking these days? I don't know how Alex Jones survived on Joe Rogan, man. Last time I tried marijuana, I was like a narc. I had to lie down on a cold cement floor shirtless. And the only reason I didn't call 911 is because the idea of being in a gurney and going down the elevator and I was at work at the time, and being like put on an ambulance, it just sounded like too much to bear.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones, live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide from the Infowars.com studios.
It is Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018. On Friday, they're set to confirm Kavanaugh. The left, as they're known, really the deep state and the private intelligence agencies that have hijacked this country, are going into complete and total terroristic overdrive to destroy due process, to destroy basic freedoms that we hold near and dear, like innocent until proven guilty. We have female professors, Hollywood stars everywhere saying, kill Kavanaugh, cut his testicles off. All men are bad, especially white men. This is an attempt to divide and conquer this country. It's in the WikiLeaks, but more importantly, it's in CIA public manuals and others on how to control population. Now, get ready for this. I knew that Dr. Ford's grandfather, father, brother, and brother-in-law all worked high-level CIA. That had come out. That's par for the course with these psychology professors. Then it came out that she ran recruiting programs at Stanford and one other college. She was involved in the recruiting. Then it got even worse. I saw a Media Matters article over the weekend attempting to debunk it, and it went ahead and admitted it all and more and said, and how dare them? Yeah, she was in some programs to help people forget memories or have new false memories. There were several articles. And I went and read the study she wrote, and ladies and gentlemen, turns out she co-authored and headed up major classic MK Ultra style mind control programs. We're talking erasing memories, implanting false memories, programming people.
Yep.
Openly at Stanford.
Yep.
I'm going to get into the actual program, show TV viewers.
You
That's
know,
the
Alex.
document. We posted it on Infowars.com. Mike Adams did an excellent job, naturalnews.com, breaking it down. But I read this last night when he sent it to me and got physically ill because I already knew all about this. That's why when they have these big events, you've got to look and see, are there leftist foundation groups involved? Because most of the time there are. And before I get into this, let me give you just a few things I pulled up during that 4-minute break. I thought, let me give them some background first, like I always do. This is Psychology Today.
I'm going to turn this up.
Psychology Today. Harvard's experiment on the Unabomber, class of 62. Theodore Kaczynski disappeared for 3 years into the MK Ultra
programming
secret assassination brainwashing program. You can go read it out of Psychology Today, LA Times, you name it. This all broke back in the 90s. That's Psychology Today. Let me give you another one. Shooter James Holmes and DARPA, Weird Science. Kurt Nimmo wrote about it, and it links to mainstream news articles, Infowars.com. His father is Lieutenant Colonel Robert Holmes, the head of the Space Command, NASA, Army Language School, Defense Language Institute, all of it. Complete and total interface with computers plugged directly into your brain for mind control. Keep going. Guess who Timothy McVeigh's doctor was until the day he was executed at Terre Haute, Indiana? Yes. Jolyon West. Do you know who Jolyon West was on record? Number 2 scientist in MK Ultra and MK Naomi and other secret NASA programs, but wait, it's more powerful. He headed up an even more secret program. The name was never discovered in Canada with over 10,000 kidnapped children. Even the History Channel has shows about it. He worked for Dr. Ewing Cameron, the former head of all mind control operations for the Central Intelligence Agency. And then you've got Dr. Ford, who remembers being raped by Brett Kavanaugh. How in the hell is this not a giant issue? Now, we're going to get into her papers and her program, and it is the most hardcore public mind control I've ever heard of. I know a lot of it's going on at the University of Texas Psychology Department. I was let in there almost 20 years ago by one of the folks that then moved on to an even more prestigious institution. I've told you about some of that, but it was mainly how to use flicker rates and manipulate people and make them sexually stimulated or make them nauseated. It was just using television to manipulate you. Some of the areas I was shown, all DARPA funded. Every laboratory had DARPA on the door saying they were the ones funding it. So I just showed you mainstream news, you name it, admitting all this. If you're a TV viewer, you saw it all on screen. This isn't even hidden. But what's incredible is that I dropped the ball because I was focusing on her working for RU486 company. I was focusing on her not finishing her residency, which is classic because you go right to work for the CIA, you usually don't. And then I was focusing on her, that's your residency, and the way she changed her story a whole bunch. But then I read the CIA honey trap story that Savage was talking about from Zero Hedge, and it was all linked there with her family high level, tied into Russiagate, tied into everything. And then I saw this last night. I already read some of the studies she'd written, but I found these when Mike Adams sent me the article. And I sat there and read it, and I knew what I was looking at because I'd read the declassified stuff in the 70s on MK Ultra, MK Naomi. It was all that with her heading it up in plain view. The co-author of a mind control study to give people false memories or remove memories. That is what they're looking for. That's the Holy Grail. With chemicals, electricity, you name it, and just mainlining it, how great it is. I mean, this is unbelievable. The project of inner voices through sub-audible frequencies. I mean, it's all, this is like the encyclopedia, these programs and papers she wrote of everything I've ever researched and known about in one class. God, who knows what they're doing with all this stuff? And then this is the woman that's up on television that we cannot question, even though her story is completely scrambled and upside down, and she's got interns living at her house.
Hey, Tanya, welcome, girl.
And all the rest of it. This is who they brought forward. And now the other women are saying, actually, I never saw Kavanaugh attack anybody. Oh, actually, he didn't attack anybody on a boat. Oh, actually, oh, don't worry, we have new anonymous letters saying he raped a woman in a car. This is unbelievably transparent. And then she's got the deep state swamp top lawyer there, right there. So we're going to look more into this when we come back. I have filed suit against PayPal. We'll let you know about that coming up as well, exclusively here. Mark Rondaz is joining us. So much straight ahead. Whatever you do, share the live links. Tell folks about local stations. And all these other company heads and all these other people know this, and they won't say it. So I'm here hammering.
Stop the hammering. Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer? Where is it?
Hammering.
Where's the hammer? Is it on the, go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering.
Hammering.
Stop the hammering.
Hammering.
Call Phil Griffin. I don't care who the you have to call. Stop the hammering.
Hammering. And all these fools and all these traitors don't get it. Now it's being taken away because they demand control of the streets, control of the schools, control of your bank account.
It just sucks. It sucks to be out here with this out of control.
Control the churches, control the food you eat, control the vaccines they put in your body, control the internet, control of everything. They're here.
Any thing can come into my ear at any moment. That's what I know. Anybody can get into my ear at any time.
Our supplements, our products, our t-shirts, all of it is choose your own adventure. At InfoWarsStore.com, standing with America, standing against the Chi-Coms in Hollywood, standing for victory and winning. Thanks to you. We'll be back.
I'll go down to the floor myself and stop it. Keep the commercial break going.
Hey, how would you like to take InfoWars with you wherever you go? Well, now you can do just that with the new official InfoWars app. And here's the best part. It is absolutely free. At the Apple Store and Google Play, you can join the InfoWar today. Check it out right now at InfoWars.com/app.
It's the InfoWars official app. Taking on the globalist at point blank range. And with your help spreading it, and with your help downloading it, we are unstoppable.
Introducing Ultimate Bone Broth Formula. We're bringing back one of the biggest fan favorite formulas we've ever offered with even better ingredients. Ultimate Bone Broth to help you save big on this new product and stock up. We're dropping the price to $19.95. Our previous supplier was unable to get the incredible ingredients while keeping the cost low. Since we wanted to make sure that you got the best value possible, we've now switched to a new supplier with even better ingredients. That's why it's now the Ultimate Bone Broth Formula. The incredible ingredients included in the Ultimate Bone Broth Formula include chicken bone broth, turmeric root, chaga mushroom, bee pollen, goji berry, and alfalfa herb powder, and even more, of course. These powerful ingredients are going to help you get the most out of your workout by supporting your healthy muscles, digestion, tendons, and ligaments, while also supporting your body's fight against free radicals. It's time to take advantage and pick up your bottle of an updated favorite formula with Ultimate Bone Broth from InfoWars Life. Thank you.
The Real Red Pill Plus, ladies and gentlemen. Our team is constantly on the lookout for newer and better ways to improve our products. That's why we're bringing you a brand new version of one of the newest fan favorite products, the Real Red Pill Plus. The Real Red Pill Plus is an all-new version of the powerhouse pregnenolone product. It features the same great formula that supports your heart, brain, healthy aging process with an all-new natural caffeine boost included. A powerful pregnenolone base, the Real Red Pill, is going to become one of our fellow InfoWarriors' favorite products. Now, with an extra proprietary energy blend inside, including green tea extract, yerba mate leaf extract, and more, you can get that extra pick-me-up while supporting your mind and body in a healthy way. Got all the great stuff that Real Red Pill has, but it's also got the boost in it. Get the Real Red Pill Plus at InfoWarsStore.com.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Tell you what, it's mind control. Mind control. Corruption of your thoughts, yeah. Destruction of your soul. Mind control. It's mind control. Corruption of your thoughts. Destruction of your soul.
Welcome back. Alex Jones here live. So, we looked into Dr. Ford, the psychologist, background, and we looked at how she was a big Hillary supporter and gave 10 donations in the last cycle and 60 donations to other Democrats. She's got a lot of money. Now she's an executive with the RU486 abortion pill company worth hundreds of billions of dollars, still not on the market. And we looked at how she was part of a whole man-hating organization and how she's supported by Soros-backed groups and how her whole testimony kept contradicting itself and how whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty and why did they sit on the allegations until right before the vote, on and on and on. Instead of looking at what she did at Stanford and one other university, even currently what she does. And she is in a public mind control operation that implants false memories and removes memories. The story is on Infowars.com with all of the documents. And we have saved and posted much of the actual reports so they can't remove them. Imagine why they want InfoWars shut down and curtailed and censored with just 35 days out, because they want to launch stuff like this and get away with it. Do you think I just went on air and said that the Batman shooter in Aurora, Colorado was suspicious? It was on local news that his father was a military officer heading up a giant mind control operation, and that the former head of the Air Force Psychiatry Division left a year before and came to be his private psychiatrist at the college. And then he then said in the jail, it was in the Denver News, that I have been drugged. I am under mind control. I was not the shooter. There was another person there. His father heads up Air Force mind control. His psychiatrist is a woman that formerly headed up the Air Force. It's psychological operations. This is in the newspaper. I have the LA Times and Psychology Today right here, where Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber, was in MK Ultra for 3 years. Shooter James Holmes in DARPA Weird Science. Inmate James Holmes told me he was programmed to kill by evil therapists. I'm not saying she did that. I mean, she's just this top Air Force psychiatrist that happened to be his personal psychiatrist and just met with him 4 times a week. Oh, and he was in a brain-machine interface program himself. Was being paid $98,000 a year, by the way, by the Defense Department and DARPA. Oh, yeah, the shooter. And he was one of the top guys in the program. Well, he's getting 90-something thousand a year. And then he goes and shoots up a movie theater. The shadow Patsy rises again. How mind control is connected to gun control. Infowars.com. It's why they want to shut down. The relationship between MK Ultra and mass murder. Jamie White, Infowars.com, February this year. Here we are on the 1 year anniversary now of the Vegas situation. Murder under hypnosis, the James Holmes story, takes a familiar turn. And now we have a doctor whose grandfather, father, brother, and brother-in-law all work high-level CIA in D.C. in the same programs, and some of them work inside Baker Hostetler that wrote up the original Pissgate dossier, and none of this is suspicious to anybody. And then you read the report. Kavanaugh accuser Christine Blasey Ford ran mass hypnotic inductions. Did you hear that? Mass hypnotic inductions, putting you into a hypnotic spell. That's her words. Of psychiatric subjects as part of mind control research funded by the foundation linked to computational psychosomatics neurohijacking. Neurohijacking. Nothing to see here.
Nothing here.
Nothing going on. Stunning bombshell about the hoax accusations against Brett Kavanaugh. And you hear her say how she remembered it a few years ago and then told the therapist by name, but it's not in the notes. And then the dog was there at the window and she decided to go public. I mean, maybe she's under mind control. My God. Stunning bombshell about the hoax accusations against Brett Kavanaugh. We've now learned and confirmed that Christine Blasey Ford co-authored a science paper that involves her carrying out, quote, hypnotic inductions of psychiatric subjects as part of mind control program that cites methods to create artificial situations. Did you hear that? They put people into trances so deep that they are under total mind control and believe whatever they're told. Internet sleuths are turning up an extraordinary collection of evidence that increasingly points to Christine Blasey Ford being involved in mind control programs at Stanford, writes Mike Adams, which some claim are run by the CIA. It's DARPA funding it. That's above the CIA. We have confirmed that Stanford University, where Ford works, runs a CIA undergraduate internship program, which is described in full at the stanford.edu recruitment page for the CIA.
Okay, yeah.
The Stanford recruitment page for the CIA explains you will be given opportunity to work with highly skilled professionals and see firsthand the role the CIA plays in supporting U.S. officials who make our country's foreign policy. And it goes on from there. Breaking. The self-hypnosis and create artificial situations paper that she co-authored. Christine Blasey Ford's confirmed to be co-author of the mind control study. The hypnotic induction system, Spiegel and Spiegel, to evaluate their level of hypnotizing, and we're asked to, and it goes all through it, for the Stanford University School of Medicine to participate in it with the hypnotic inductions of the students. The Mental Insight Foundation also funded a study on interception and neuroimaging to control the mind through biological intervention. That means drugs, chemicals, radio waves, you name it. And then guess what's right here? Boom. And it just gets crazier and crazier. Projections of inner voices through subaudible frequencies to plant voices and even emotional moods in the minds of targeted subjects. Gee, wonder who wants that. And it goes on to what's happening in Cuba and China to our forces, being hit with it. But then it gets even crazier. You got to go read this. It gets into the different waves to hit the heart, the amplitude to hit different organs, to attack the stomach, to attack the brain. And it talks about, in this huge paper, vagus nerve stimulation, presentation of information during different phases of visceral rhythms, and assessment. And it goes all through different waves, like I told you, to mind control you. Look at these documents. Changing the world through using these interactions, using these waves, using these outside systems. Combined percent of the body in the world. The outside perception and the inner perception, changing the body through interactions with the body. The psychosomatics of the systems they're using. Additional details about the Mental Insight Foundation They even call it computational psychosomatics, and they talk about using torture techniques, close quote, to force the neurological maps open into the open, saying the degree of tolerance to being enclosed in a small dark chamber for 10 minutes might provide behavioral evidence verifying tolerance in triggers for
Not going to be much more talk over here.
the mind control program. And that's what it is when they put you in a coffin. And they do this during death education in the schools. Folks, I can hardly even read this. It's so stunning. This is just some of the papers. This is some of what we're dealing with. And of course, she is literally a mind control doctor in a giant CIA university-funded program for false memories, now trying to destroy the Supreme Court nominee. My God, this is beyond 2 + 2 = 4.
This is what's going on in this country. There is this intense scrutiny, this fine-tooth comb, where they go through every facet of I don't even want to say conservative, of a non-liberal's life. You knew the guy who organized Charlottesville, ergo you killed Heather Heyer, so you have to be terrorized. Your family's social life has to be affected. If you're not 100% with the liberal cause, even as the liberal cause drifts off into satellite town and has things like infinite gender and children are sexual beings and the president is a white supremacist Nazi, even as they start saying that crazy radical stuff, if you're not with this crazy satellite, then you're a Nazi who's going to start World War III and we have to terrorize you. If you work at Purdue Pharmaceuticals, you should be a pariah. If anyone's going to be a pariah, it should be someone involved in big pharma, someone whose job actually does lead to deaths. And these bad guys that they have, these so-called racists and Nazis, whatever, like Richard Spencer, but even him, his beliefs don't lead to deaths. I mean, hey, you be mad at actual bad guys? I think Charlottesville has been pinned to me quite a bit, and I was very adamant from the beginning, I don't want anything to do with this. Now, Jason Kessler is the guy who organized it. Jason Kessler kept trying to join my group of Proud Boys. He went to 2 different things. Showed up, he seemed nice, hey, blah, blah, blah. We did our little ritual, and then, both times we started to smell a rat, kicked him out. He called me regularly, was very friendly, and said, I'm just a guy who likes statues. And me too. I also think statues shouldn't be torn down. So we bonded on that. I said, are you all right? He said, no. Absolutely not. Lied about it. Right? And the Charlottesville thing was pushed as a let's stop taking statues down thing. I smelled a rat anyway. And I said, you know what, Jason, I don't trust you. You're out of the Proud Boys. You've got nothing to do with us. And this is like 2 months before. I said, we're not going. Anyone who goes is evil. Disavow. And I'm convinced in retrospect that Charlottesville is a fake thing. It was set up by Soros lackeys to discredit the right, to get rid of people like that were near the edge, like Milo Yiannopoulos and Lauren Southern, to get us in there and mix us with the Nazis, who hate us, by the way, and then discredit us all, and we'll be done. And I do believe a lot of those guys with tiki tortures were real guys. When they were saying blood and so and all that Nazi stuff, I believe they believed that. I think a lot of them are autistic weirdos. I think whoever set that up got fired. It didn't turn out. We only got 1 death. Shit. We didn't want that. We wanted total and utter chaos. Much more racism. It didn't go, but they still cling to that one Heather Heyer death. And by the way, also, this was the worst they got, right? It took all this maniacal planning and lies and deception and pretending it's about statues, and they managed to scrounge up what? 200 guys? What is the population of America? What do we have, like 360 million? You basically are showing as a threat that is not even close to as dangerous as elevators. Your enemy, even in your worst case scenario, even if we ignore my theory that it was a fake rally, even all that, you're still in the elevator, measles, spiders kind of an area of danger. Whereas Big Pharma, 40,000 a year, 36,000 a year to be specific. That's 115 people a day dying from opioids, 115 a day. Yet those guys aren't pariahs. No, the mythical Nazi, that's the pariah. If you are obsessed with chasing Nazis and white supremacists, you are essentially a Bigfoot chaser. Bigfoot is not a thing. It's a strange thing to set up because what you're doing is you're setting up this scrutiny machine where everyone has a fine-tooth comb. And I think what's happening now with the right is we're going, okay, let me just pick up this giant fine-tooth comb and go through Hollywood. Oh, wow, it's Rape Central over there. You guys are disgusting animals. Looks like you're not so sanctimonious after all, are you?
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
So what are the chances that Ms. Ford, her father, grandfather, brother-in-law, all work high-level CIA, and then a couple of them work in and around the same law firm, Baker and Hostetler, that helped create the original fake Pishgate dossier, because that was first done by Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio. We now know that. And then she's the one that pops up and then changes her story a whole bunch. And then it turns out she's authoring at Stanford official mind control classes on how to implant false memories or remove memories. I just spent 2 segments showing you that. The article with her papers, with the documents, is on Infowars.com. Forget CIA. You got 17 agencies. It's the whole psychiatric system. It's the real cult, in my view. And this is just unbelievable. I mean, I thought she had a motive to get up there and do all this because of the RU-486 bill, and she thinks that maybe Kavanaugh would piss in her Cheerios over making all that money. And I looked at how she changed her story a bunch, and I looked at all the other different angles of this, and just how she was giving money to Hillary and didn't have any witnesses and couldn't remember any of the details except when she actually got there. But now, due process is out the window. Innocent till proven guilty is out the window. Now they're looking at perjury, saying, did he ever pass out drunk? You got professors at Georgetown saying, cut his testicles off, kill him. Georgetown will probably give him an award. The left has gone crazy. You know, a real liberal, a good liberal, is Mark Randazzo, probably the top First Amendment lawyer in the country. He certainly has the most courage. And I've got him on about a brief statement here, and then we'll get into some other issues while we have him. We have filed a action in defense of our rights in California, in San Francisco, dealing with PayPal, because they tell us that the last day we can use them is Thursday. And so we filed an injunction. InfoWars files emergency injunction against PayPal in federal court. Silicon Valley, the Democratic Party, and other large corporations working in tandem to drive conservatives to the marketplace in what amounts to a dangerous form of political persecution. That's my words, but Mark wants to be very, let's just say, very limited in what he says, and then let the filing that we posted, not the entire filing, but the basic suit, not all the exhibits, but the basic filing, to Infowars.com, world exclusive. So, Mark, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
The short and sweet of this, because I know you don't want to get into too much of it.
Yeah, I mean, given that it's ongoing litigation that we've just filed, I don't want to get too detailed, but it is our position that PayPal should not have been able to cut you off like this simply for engaging in your own political speech. That it appears that after 18 years of having a good relationship with you, PayPal was influenced in some way to say that you can no longer participate in their online banking platform. And if you watch the steady progress of this that's going on, it should worry you no matter what your political persuasion. It worries me when I see, it always starts with somebody very easy to dislike, and then it moves down the chain, and it's now run to you, and who knows where it's going to end. But do we really have to have a political litmus test in order to participate in online communication, in order to participate in banking? That, I think, is scary. And, there may be people who say that this case is wrong. There may be people who say it's right, but I think it's the right thing to do to make a stand. And, that's what we're doing.
Well, people always worry, even if they're not Christian, about a world government, a cashless society, a world social score, because it would be perfect to abuse and control people. And then governments and corporations could always demand more behavior modification for your access to have a job, to live. And so that's where this is going with Silicon Valley. You talk about it in the suit, working in conjunction with other big tech and with big banks to really, they're trying to shut the NRA out of banking. They're trying to shut down Cabela's from banking. Cabela's had to go start its own bank. And I mean, this is getting, but I don't have the money to go start my own bank. So this whole move by whole industries to bar people from the marketplace. It really smacks of, not letting black folks eat at the lunch counters.
I wouldn't go that far, but what I would say is I think your comparison to China's social score is apt. But I can't believe I'm saying this, but at least the Chinese Communist government's decisions based on a social score, they're at least numerical. You know what it is that costs you points and what gives you points, so you can work within the rules. When it comes to the way that these companies have been comporting themselves in Silicon Valley, there's no way to know. They just decide one day, a couple of people are sitting around and say, I think it would be fun if we got rid of Alex Jones. I think it'd be fun if we got rid of, name the next person. And it goes on. And every single one that we let get, every single time they've gotten away with it, they've decided to push a little more closer to the mainstream. And it really frightens me to think of the fact, I'm an old school liberal who used to remember when we used to be afraid of big corporations taking things over. I mean, you remember that Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton and pretty much everybody in the Democratic Party said Citizens United is a terrible decision because it gives corporations way too much power. Well, what happened to that philosophy? I mean, I don't trust corporations. I don't really trust governments either, but at least theoretically, you can vote people out of power. What can you do to a privately owned business? You can't do anything. So we're going to give these 4 companies the power over what we read, what we see, what we hear, and now when and how we can use money. We're really going to do that? That is just terrifying to me. And, I'm not calling, maybe now it's a great time for conservatives to realize that that liberal fear of unchecked corporate power wasn't so crazy after all. And maybe now is the time to do something about it, because if we don't do something about it now, they're not going to get less powerful. It's not going to be easy tomorrow. It's going to be any easier next month. The best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago. The second best time is today. And I think
hope it looks a
anybody who's
little
on the
better today.
sidelines
I
of
still
this,
got to do work to it.
I should hope
I may
is
have to
on the
redo
corporate board of
my
PayPal.
files. They messed
Because
it up.
other than that, it's your rights that are getting eroded here. It's you that could be the next target. And in 5 to 10 years, it's going to be too late. And you aren't going to have
and Mark,
a neat, nice social score written in Mandarin somewhere that you can read and say, if you do this, you're going to lose points. You do that, you're going to get points. No, it's just going to be at the whim of some secret society, some secret cabal that's going to sit around in a closed door room and say,
if I'm live streaming, I can't jump over to them.
Well, that's where I was going. I'm not likening black folks not able to get counters to the current situation.
Here,
I'm saying where this leads and whole groups denied access
this.
to the market and society. That's where this is leading. That's the whole plan. This is Pavlovian conditioning, Pavlovian control. And then the media demonizes who somebody is, and Silicon Valley acts on that fraud, blocks us out of the marketplace, and then they can, once we're shut down, further demonize us because now we've been silenced. Now we've been bankrupted. They admit that that's their plan, and I'm not talking about PayPal specifically, but this whole movement of because even the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Washington Post said, "Oh, Jones will be shut down. We'll get all his other payment processors." The admitted goal is to shut me down.
Well, and the unadmitted goal is you're just a mile marker on the way to where they want to go. And that's what's really scary is, I hate to say this, but if I knew that they were only going to target you and only you and never anybody else, when we said that this is a unique situation, it wouldn't scare me as much. But I've seen this happen to person after person after person, and this is about societal control by 4 or 5.
And let's not forget, PayPal is buying one of the biggest. Sorry, go ahead. PayPal is buying up one of the biggest global processors right now. They're consolidating the whole market. So what happens when it's only PayPal and maybe 2 other banks, and they say you can't have a bank account? I mean, that's why they're trying to get rid of cash.
Well, maybe Jeff Sessions could put down the pork rinds and do his job until the antitrust division starts doing some work. That might be a good day, but I don't know what he's too busy doing. He doesn't seem to be busy with me.
Well, regardless, we're raising the alarm with this. I want to come back in 5 minutes with you just on the subject of Kavanaugh and your whole view on that. Before we go to break, for now, we don't know how this injunction is going to work. You got 2 days left to be able to use PayPal at InfoWarsStore.com. They say they're going to get rid of it Thursday. We'll see how this injunction goes. But this is an attempt to take all our other payment processors and shut us down. And not so much even by PayPal. That's what the Democrats and big media and big tech have said the goal is. So great products at InfoWarsStore.com. Wednesday is the last day to get 40% off on BrainForce Plus, the amazing nootropic, 40% off also on the amazing Pure Vitamin B12, that's Secret 12, and a bunch of other products, 50% off Super Male, Super Female Vitello. That's the last run of this, even though it's a bestseller. It's become too expensive to produce. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, and you're funding very tip of the spear. So please take action today. We have the new Happy's mood and stress formula as well.
We've got a statement now with regard to PayPal and reports that it has ended its relationship with InfoWars.
PayPal joining a slew of tech companies that have severed ties with conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, hitting his InfoWars where it hurts by no longer allowing the site to use the payment processor.
PayPal is the latest company to sever ties with Jones after YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest.
Last month, the website called Right Wing Watch posted a report highlighting PayPal's continued business relationship with InfoWars, and the Washington Post also noted how business on the InfoWars stores was booming.
PayPal is the latest big tech company to cut ties with far-right conspiracy website InfoWars, dealing a blow to one of founder Alex Jones's revenue sources.
This is, of course, coming at a time when many, at least reports out there of possible censorship of conservative voices and other people in the media has come to light as well. So Contessa is certainly a story that we're following very closely.
It actually fuels the Trump base because they do feel like they're being silenced.
And we're also standing up to social media censorship. That's the new thing.
Apple, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter have all booted Jones off their platforms. PayPal on Thursday night informed InfoWars, which runs an online storefront that sells survival gear and herbal supplements, that it had 10 business days to find a new payment processor.
You can't pick one person and say, well, we don't like what he's been saying, he's out. We have literally thousands and thousands of complaints coming in. And you just can't do that.
Jones hit back on his website, saying the InfoWarsStore.com site had no political content, and the move emphasizes how the decision was a broader attack on the InfoWars platform.
A PayPal spokesperson says, quote, "We undertook an extensive review of the InfoWars sites and found instances that promoted hate speech,
and bullying policies."
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones.
We're only 35 days out. I'm going to open the phones up, cover a ton of news after Mark Randazza leaves us at the end of this segment. Listen, we have to fight back. Everybody knows that if you get a big mega system and the big banks link up and they start denying people the right to commerce simply because of who they claim you are, when you haven't committed a crime or done anything wrong or engaged in fraud, is true persecution. It's Hitler's dream. First thing Hitler did was start curtailing how Jews and others could do business. Then he took them out of banking. And then the rest is history. So this is happening. I'm all a free market, sacrosanct, your business, whatever. But when they all work in unison and say, we're going to destroy you, it's serious. So we filed an injunction. I guess you call it a lawsuit. Just one more minute on that, Mark Randazza. It's up on Infowars.com. We might tell folks basically what this is seeking so that when the media asks me, I can point to this video.
I mean, it's kind of complicated because what we're seeking is PayPal has what's called an arbitration clause. So we have to do this before an arbitrator, but they require 30 days advance notice before you can do that. But PayPal is going to shut you off in 10 days. So you don't have the time to do that, to go get an arbitrator to tell them to stop. So we're asking the court for really limited relief, that the court just says to PayPal, hold on, Alex might win this, so you've got to stop your plan to terminate him until we can get this properly before an arbitrator. And then we'll go into the depths of the argument. So really what we're asking for right now is pretty limited. But ultimately, the goal of the case and the arbitration will be to try to turn back this tide of really arbitrary and capricious decisions to try to exclude people from the marketplace of ideas.
And you also get into how their contract basically tries to make you waive all your rights up front. And as huge institutions, that's a dangerous precedent, kind of like what they would do with the company store or the old railroads.
Yeah, we are making that argument in our papers that we feel that they're, I ask anybody out there how many times they've read their online terms and conditions for any service that they use. If you have, then you're probably in the 1/10 of 1%. But of course, they're all written extremely one-sided, and that's maybe one thing when it's an entertainment website. But when it's something that you actually need in order to participate in commerce, I think it's another story.
Yeah, what if the airlines start saying we're not going to let you fly because you're a political affiliation? Or what if, this is a very, very dangerous precedent. In closing, I want your take on Kavanaugh. And again, we're not a cult. People say, hey, if Randazza agrees or disagrees, I respect you. What's your view on Kavanaugh?
I previously did my analysis of him just on his First Amendment jurisprudence, and I liked it. I don't really like him on the Fourth Amendment. As far as the accusations go, I think there's enough room to call both of them liars. But what I really was troubled with is his temperament when he was under pressure. I've been before judges who are somewhat tyrannical and not really open to listening to both sides of things. And the way that he performed there on the stand made it that this is not somebody I'd like to see on the court. I think we can do better. But it's not to do with the accusations. It's really to deal with how he's dealt with them. And I think if we've got 9 people in that court and somebody's put on there for life, I don't want somebody who seems like he's going to turn into a caged badger when he's questioned.
But if you're innocent of these outrageous charges, a normal person will get very, very angry.
But I'm not looking for normal people on the Supreme Court. I'm looking for extraordinary people on the Supreme Court. And I was not terribly impressed with that.
Let me ask you this then. Do 5 more minutes with us. We're going to go to break for 60 seconds. Sure. If you were the Supreme Court nominee and this was happening and it wasn't true, how would you respond? What would your opening statement be when we're back in 60 seconds? No, your opening statement, Mark. No time to prepare. Mark Randazza's opening statement. He's been accused of all this stuff with no evidence. And what would he say at that point? Infowars.com, newswars.com, tomorrow's news today.
AMC, what's up, bud?
We all look at that. Everybody else is just like yellow or clear. That's because it's been denatured, it's been watered down. We didn't do that. You think I would metaphysically sell you something? This is the very best I can get. I'd rather go to hell than do that. I will only give you the maximum best info, the maximum truth, the maximum product, because I want that goodwill. What I do to you, I do to myself. Don't you get the big secret? You ever seen fish oil look like that? No, you never seen that, have you? And this little jewel right here is solid, liquid consciousness. Look it up. Find out how even the FDA and the government admits fish oil is incredible. The number one thing anybody can do for themselves is take good fish oil or krill oil. Just like our information is dynamite, so are our products. Infowarsstore.com.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation, it's Alex Jones coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
35 days out from this incredibly historic election. I'm Alex Jones, your host. Your calls and a ton of news are coming up. Finishing up with constitutional lawyer, First Amendment lawyer Mark Randazza. We have filed a restraining order, a lawsuit in San Francisco in federal court against PayPal. You can read the lawsuit at Infowars.com right now, and it's really about everybody's rights and fighting the whole cashless society control system that the mega banks are setting up with Silicon Valley. Facebook wants your banking data. They want everything in there so they can have a web ID and then persecute you if you don't play ball with their system. Now, first we heard we need due process for these women, but there is no due process for him. And I know that, you know, this is a job interview, as they're calling it. I just know there's no way to prove 36 years ago, especially if all of her witnesses say that what she said didn't happen. But we moved past that. Now we've got her working for Big Pharma, RU486. That's a reason she doesn't like Kavanaugh, obviously, because she thinks he might restrict that. I see that as a motive. And you've got her as a big Hillary supporter. But what about her involved in mind control style programs of false memories, new memories, funded by DARPA and co-authoring major studies at Stanford? That's coming up after Mark Randazza leaves us. This is just insane. You've got her whole family in the CIA, basically. And then you've got this creme de la creme project of DARPA. And then you've got the Unabomber, and you've got the Aurora shooter. And they're all in these same programs. Earlier, I showed mainstream news, Psychology Today, LA Times, all of it. People don't know this. They go, oh, Jones claims they're involved in mind control. No, the LA Times does. Okay? So I'm telling you, why does this continue to pop up? It needs to be looked at. We're going to be talking about it in a moment. But going back to Mark Randazza, Jeff Flake saying the same thing you were saying earlier. We can't have that on the court, sharp and partisan, saying he was getting so angry at people saying he's raping women on boats that isn't true, and raping people in Colorado, it turns out isn't true. And now there's anonymous letters sent to Congress that the news puts out that a woman saw him rape a woman in a car, and another anonymous woman said that she saw him rape the daughter, but that wasn't true. And then that's withdrawn, and all this talk of criminal charges of the people putting these false reports out. I mean, I just think the way they waited to the 11th hour to bring this out, all this to me stinks to high heaven.
Oh, yeah. Look, I think the villain in this is Dianne Feinstein, who had that information and sat on it for the whole summer. There would have been plenty of time to investigate without this. But, you know, at the same time, you got to respect the fact that this is politics, and that's, you know, that was a strategic decision by her. I didn't find her very credible when they were asking her who leaked the information either. So, you know, as far as we have a credibility problem there, I think she's got one. But Mr. Kavanaugh has one as well. I don't understand why, you know, he spent all this time trying to paint himself as having been a, you know, pretty angelic kid back in high school and college. I mean, look, if that had been me, I can't run away from a lot of the things I did in high school and college. I mean, if, you know, you were saying what would happen if I were nominated to the Supreme Court? I mean, I'd probably have to just walk in there in a pirate outfit and say, oh man, you guys don't know the half of it. Let me start laying out some of the crazy stuff I did. And why run away from it? You know, there was a movie a while back where Robin Williams was a comedian running for office. And, you know, they put a microphone in front of his face and he said, yeah, I've smoked pot, I've done cocaine, I've had group sex, you know, what do you got? And that was the end of that. And remember that was, you know, again, that was what people did in their personal lives back then was how we liberals used to say everything ought to be when they were bothering with Gary Hart or bothering with Bill Clinton's past. You know, now that's all on its head because it's politics time. That bothers me. But when I look at Kavanaugh and I see that he's just been so inconsistent and, you know, and really trying to paint himself as something he's not, just if it was me and I was in his situation, I'd have come out and said, look, yeah, I was a pretty hard partier in high school and college and law school. I don't think there's any credence to any of these allegations. I would love there to be an FBI investigation. Take all the time you want. Have another investigation. Investigate me and investigate everybody who's making these allegations and bring back what you got, because I'm not afraid of any of it. You know,
sure, that sounds reasonable, but they're trying to stall the nomination. But I mean, I'll give you this. Yeah. When they say, well, how much beer did you drink? Well, I drank some beer. Did you drink beer? I mean, I almost kind of like the fact that it's upsetting him that he's a real person. And Mark, I don't know that a few people that went to college with him or high school said that he was a heavy drinker is proof when they're Democrat professors. Why is it all professors accusing him?
Well, you know, that could be any number of reasons. You know, there could be people who know him who wanted to be on the court that know he was a hard partier. I really don't know. All I know is that when you ask me a question like that, I'm going to give you a direct answer. And I don't think that's what he did. He just, I didn't like his temperament. I didn't like his evasiveness. I didn't like how he answered a lot of those questions. And, there's only 9 people on the Supreme Court. And, I already think we could do better than some of the ones we have.
And you were saying during the break, that you thought that Trump's big take control would be just withdrawing and put Barrett in there.
Look, that'd be the power play. If Trump just said, look, there's too much of a cloud here. I think that what Dianne Feinstein did was shameful. I think what the Democrats did is shameful. But if I'm going to appoint somebody for a lifetime and you put this cloud over his head, shame on you for doing it. But I'm going to withdraw his name and then put her up.
Well, I'll say this. I want to get the victory, and I think it's been made up with the Democrats, but I get your point. Now the Democrats are talking about trying to impeach him later, talking about Kavanaugh, and like they're going to just keep this going. They have literally crapped in the punch bowl, but here's the problem. We let them get away with this, they'll do it again and again. But I agree, they're not going to buy if he puts Barrett up that she raped women. I mean, because they're going to have women come out. They're going to all be MK Ultra professors probably too. And they'll say she's wearing a cat woman outfit. I saw her slit children's throats, drink the blood. And people, I don't think will buy it if they do that. What do you think?
Look, I think that whoever they put, I think there's enough blame to spread around to everybody for playing politics with the court. I mean, let's face it. There used to be a rule that you had 60 senators to approve a nominee, which tended to push us toward a little more moderate of nominees. And you kind of want the court to be moderate. The Democrats got rid of that. And I thought it was a bad idea when they did it, because now all you need is 51 and that's enough. That's a problem.
Well, let me ask you this question, because they have done their own.
To delay it. Well, to say they're trying to delay it till after the midterms, well, of course they are. I mean, and what did the Republicans do when Merrick Garland got nominated? They delayed it almost 10 months.
Sure, let me ask you this then.
So,
gut level, do you think Kavanaugh gets confirmed?
Do I think he gets confirmed? No, I think Jeff Flake is the swing vote here. Jeff Flake is the 51st vote. And I think Jeff Flake is somebody who doesn't care about getting reelected. I mean, he's already retired one time. He's just there to finish out John McCain's term. And, I think Jeff Flake maybe positions himself as a heck of a choice as maybe a Republican nominee for president if he can assuage some of the left with the decision not to support Kavanaugh. So my money's on Flake turning.
Well, you're right that Flake's leaving, but it's the other guy that just took over from McCain. Let's go ahead, though, since you mentioned, here's Feinstein bumbling around. It's all right. Go ahead.
I did not hide Dr. Ford's allegations. I did not leak her story. She asked me to hold it confidential, and I kept it confidential as she asked. She apparently was stalked by the press, felt that what happened, she was forced to come forward, and her greatest fear was realized. She's been harassed, she's had death threats, and she's had to flee her home. In addition, the investigation that the Republican majority is heralding is really nothing that I know about other than a partisan
That's her bumbling around. Well, listen, Mark, bottom line, we're going to be able to get your response coming up this week, and we're going to see what happens, but I'm glad that we've filed this because it's the right thing to do with PayPal. Thank you so much. Anything else?
Well, I mean, you look at Feinstein's testimony there, and I'm not buying that either. I mean, I buy it when she says technically I did not leak it.
It's one of her staffers did.
I would be willing to bet a heck of a lot of money that one of her staffers did, or somebody who did it at her direction or her wink and nod.
All right, Mark Randazzo, thanks. We'll be back with a ton of news, your phone calls. Stay with us. You keep coming through, but I don't come through promoting the products. X2 is the best halogen. It's the purest iodine you can find on the market. It's in the palm oil. It's organic. We get it from oil companies that get it at 7,000 to 12,000 feet. And it's part of the industrial sabotage we're under. That these companies always find out who we are. They're going to jack up the prices and play games. And I broke the contract. So that's it for X2. It's amazing. I'm opening another company. We're working on it. It looks like we've got some ideas, but it's going to be a while till we get more in. It'll be under a new name. When you reformulate under the FDA rules, you got to change the name. But this is the last run of Survival Shield X2. Get it, experience why so many people are deficient in it. 4.9 star reviews, 6,000 plus reviews, 98 98%. Nobody else has got that on Power Reviews. So InfoWarsStore.com. We have some of the new specials. I just haven't got rid of this one yet. 40% off the amazing nootropic Rainforest. People love it. It's excellent. 40% off Secret 12, highest quality organic B12. BuzzFeed tested it. Said, oh, his is real clean and real good, but the best is this. Well, ours is the private label of what they said is the best in the country. What morons. Oh, and ours was $10 less than what Jeff Bezos sells. The point is, these are products you need. Air filtration, water filtration, non-GMO heirloom seeds, books, t-shirts, videos. I've got the new George Washington Venus Prime Indian War shirt that great patriots in a local military group designed and put together. It's got him with the tomahawk and the musket. So that's another bestseller. And these are limited editions at InfoWarsStore.com. Everything's game-changing at InfoWarsStore.com. So yes, I don't keep extending for 3-4 days the sale on X2 because, you know, it's just, oh, it's our last day, it's our last day. I have been so busy on air and so busy like a one-legged man in a you-know-what contest. This is the last day to get X2. I've got to go do the specials right now. I'm going to shoot some ads for the new t-shirts too. So sign up for auto ship. And yeah, even if the X2 sells out, we're going to hold back for one more shipment. Whoever signed up for auto ship, you'll get an additional 10% off. That's one way to make sure you get the next run of X2 as well.
InfoWars' own Secret 12 is 40% off at InfoWarsStore.com. Discover what our super advanced vitamin B12 proprietary formula can do for you today with 40% off retail price. As always with InfoWars Life products, when you try Secret 12, you know you are securing the highest quality formulation that has been created using proprietary technology housed with a GMP certified laboratory inside the United States. And you're supporting an organization that you believe in. Stock up now on the only B12 supplement you'll ever need before it's too late with Secret 12 from InfoWars Life at 40% off. Get the powerful formula today before we run out of stock on our extended New Year sale. By the way, you see a lot of liberals scoff at all of these products and say, it's some crazy pill, it doesn't even work. Woo-hoo. Crazy town. I know famous people in Hollywood, and before Trump, I hung out with them before I was done. They're all taking B12. They're all injecting it. It was the hot thing. This was B16, I guess, before Trump was elected. But I even tried it, and I thought, isn't it weird how trusting I am that I'm letting this celebrity inject me with a syringe? This could be poison for all I know. And then they dump me because of Trump. And I'm like, I trusted you with my life. You could have given me AIDS. And now you don't trust me? Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
We are kept afloat only by your loyal patronage. And that's why we need you to go to the site now. If you're not in the market for one of our greatest nutraceuticals, please consider a contribution. $25, $50, $100, $250, or even $500 would be a godsend to our important work here to beat back the globalists and to destroy their campaign of censorship in which they want to strangle our First Amendment rights.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
I got no friends.
I got no friends cause they read the paper.
Can't be seen with me.
Seen with me. And I give a real shot down and I'm feeling me. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
You know what? I knew that if we took on the globalists, they were authoritarian, they were corrupt, they were out of control, they were evil, they were tax exempt, they had diplomatic immunity, and then they want you to be poor. I knew that a large portion of people would want to be free and wouldn't want to be schmucks. And I knew that we would start to win. But I also knew that I would end up getting attacked. I also knew that I would get demonized and they would try to take me down. But here's the deal. We're in the same company as many other great trailblazers throughout history. And so it's not fun at one level to have people go, F you, Russian agent. on the street. But it's better than letting this huge, corrupt global system take over and continue to break our back and break up our families and turn us against each other and promote racism and modern mind control. So I'm a winner. Like Tommy Robinson says, I'm not a victim, I'm a target. Well, I'm not a victim, I'm a target. Now, that said, I personally would like to win this myself. I'll do whatever it takes to win the big fight against the globalists, even if it means they kill me. Doesn't mean I want to die. Doesn't mean I'm looking for death. Doesn't mean I'm suicidal. The opposite. People ask me in interviews, they say, how far will you go? You've been persecuted. You've been attacked. You've been sued. You've been demonized. And I say, I'm going to go all the way to death if I have to. I'm ready to die. Doesn't mean I want to die. It means I'm ready to. Being ready to fight doesn't mean I'm looking to fight. If somebody starts to fight with me, I'm going to fight back. Doesn't mean I want to get in a fight. I'm ready to die. I don't want to die. If I need to, I'm ready. And you know, at kind of a sick level, I fight these people so hard and I have so much passion to do it that I'll never give up. And I work harder even as I get older. And it really means a lot to me to stop these people because I know how bad they are. And they've done so many things to me that every victory we have is that much more important. It's beyond savoring it. It's beyond vitriol. It's beyond exaltation. It's beyond triumph. It's just doing the right thing. It's like being thrown off a boat in the middle of the ocean and swimming 10 miles back to shore. Every muscle's burning and you're about to pass out. And you're drinking, seawater, gulping it in on accident. And you're about to pass out, but somehow you make it onto that beach. And even though you feel like you're dead, you're in heaven. And it's that same thing. I've already made it to the beach in the allegory, but my family and billions of people are not there yet. And so I've got to go back out into the ocean and I've got to go through that pain and all of that again because I don't want to be on this island alone. That's really how it feels. Got a lot of big breaking news. I'm going to give the phone number out, take a lot of calls today, obviously on Kavanaugh, on us filing lawsuit against PayPal to defend our rights and your rights and to just start the conversation about what's going on, even though it is an uphill battle and so much more. And we have an incredible Millie Weaver video that has been posted to Infowars.com. It is the raw video. We've had it bleeped. And for TV, when you're on broadcast TV, you can't even show people flipping off. So we have to do a bunch of, we put Make America Great Again over his shirt saying, and over him flipping everybody off. So we have that family version coming up. And these folks admit that they're here illegally. And then there's a man there who lost his daughter and he gets in their face because there's this arrogance. It's like the lady that confronted Flake and said, how dare you? He's raping women. You're going to let me get raped. Women are being raped. She's from Colombia. She's a lesbian. She's got 2 kids. I guess she adopted. Fine. And she's just screaming how America sucks when in Colombia, they kill hundreds and hundreds of gays a year, which is a bad thing. But America is this super open, inclusive country. And then now you've got the LGBTP, I had pedophile at the end of it, because more and more, that's part of it. 6-year-old pupils write gay love letters to learn to accept diversity. We're going to play the video of that coming up. So you put your children in school and they tell 6-year-olds, little boys write love letters to boys, girls write to girls. This is people sexualizing your children. This is Tavistock Institute breakdown of civilization. This is brutal. So that's coming up as well next segment. But first, so we got a big blitz. Next segment, then your calls start. At least 2 packages sent to the Pentagon suspect to contain ricin, the deadly neurotoxin poison, officials say. At least 2 packages sent to the Pentagon are suspected of containing ricin, a Pentagon spokesman confirmed to Fox News today. The packages never made them into the Pentagon, but were flagged in a mail delivery building next door, the spokesman said. The FBI has led the investigation, officials told Fox News. On Monday, the Pentagon Force Protection Agency detected a suspicious substance during mail screening, the Pentagon's remote screening facility. Colonel Robert Manning said in a statement, the envelopes were taken by the FBI this morning for further analysis. All USPS mail received by the Pentagon mail screening facility yesterday is currently under quarantine and pose no threat to the Pentagon personnel. Wonder who it was getting mailed to. Ricin is a poison that can take several different forms, but its purified powder can be deadly. It's also one of the easiest poisons to manufacture. In June, a Wisconsin mom was accused of spreading ISIS propaganda online, directing one person how to make ricin, how to deploy it in a government facility or water reservoir. The same month, an Islamic extremist ricin attack planned for Germany was foiled. And remember, we should get McAfee back on. He found out that the Belizean government was giving Hezbollah passports into the U.S. and that they were producing ricin there. And I didn't think he was lying, but 2 years after he said it here, it came out in the news that indeed was going on. I was blown away. So I would say Islamic, it will be the main
Don't sound chill
culprit
at all.
or some leftist false flag. We're not sure.
That don't sound
We will
chill.
follow that as it unfolds, obviously, here. We're going to go to break. You can still use PayPal. And I guess my lawyer's saying, no, keep it up there. Don't stop using it. We're filing an injunction. That's the whole point of it. So as long as PayPal works, it comes through, we'll process it and ship you your order at InfoWarsStore.com. You don't have to use PayPal if you don't want. We have other payment systems at InfoWarsStore.com as well. But obviously, we're at the tip of the spear. We're having a big effect. We're covering the real issues. We're relaunching Americana. The country's coming back from the dead. And the globalists want us shut down. So your financial support isn't just appreciated, it's essential. It's absolutely a must. And we've got great products you need. Let me tell you, this has been a year in development. Happy's Mood and Stress takes the known concentrated organic herbs for mood and smooth energy and so much more. And every formula is different for different people. So try it, see how you like it. But I think folks are going to love it. It's 50% off out of the gate because I want you to try it and see how amazing it is. It's something that I definitely like to take in the evening to smooth things out. We'll be back.
Super Silver Wound Gel uses Silver Salt technology. There's been extensive research on Silver Salt technology. This research includes 20 plus safety reports and test series, as well as the first ever double-blind FDA-cleared human ingestion toxicity study. This formula is 24 ppm. That's 32 ppm version is FDA cleared as a prescription medical device. Similar products sell for $40 or more. It's one of the only OTC products that direct claims against MRSA. You don't want that. And VRE, two of the most deadly forms of bacteria that can cause infection. Great for first and second degree burns, including sunburn. The Super Silver Wound Gel is essential armor for your wounds. The barrier protection can last up to 3 days on the skin, helping to eliminate the chance of infection. It's perfect for athletes of all ages in all areas of sports. Super Silver Wound Gel.
President Trump calling for a new investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server.
A new bombshell development reveals Hillary Clinton's leaked emails were likely responsible for the deaths of up to 20 CIA agents working in China.
Over a dozen CIA agents may have been killed as a result of Hillary Clinton's leaked emails.
The FBI is denying that, sort of, but the story is still fluid and confusing. And for some reason, a lot of people don't seem that interested in finding out what actually happened.
Look, the deep state doesn't want to do a damage assessment. They don't want to grapple with this because to do so would undermine the fiction that what Hillary did caused no damage and deserved no prosecution.
The former Secretary of State's carelessness allowed a Chinese state-owned company to gain access to her emails, giving them the ability to read her messages in real time.
Even worse, the FBI was reportedly warned about this by the intel community's inspector general, but did nothing in response.
It's almost like there were folks at the top of the FBI that just weren't interested in anything that made Hillary look bad.
And the fact that this information was discovered, then turned over to the FBI, and the FBI counterintelligence office, including Mr. Peter Strzok, apparently took no interest in it, is shocking.
One of the top officials who was alerted to the problem was none other than anti-Trump agent Peter Strzok, who decided to ignore the warning. Texas Representative Louis Gohmert of the House Judiciary Committee explained that this news would have damaged Clinton's chances in the election, and so agents like Peter Strzok decided to cover it up.
It is time to hold people accountable. It is time to perform an
actual investigation into Hillary's breach of protocol and her facilitating this cyber attack on our country.
What the heck were the Clintons doing? Why have there been no substantive prosecutions in this case at all? The reason, I think, at this point is pretty obvious.
As a result of this massive intelligence leak, China was able to discover the identities and capture some 20 CIA agents who were then either tortured or murdered.
This was a sophisticated intelligence operation in which they were able to generate what is called a courtesy copy of every incoming and outgoing email that Hillary received in her mansion in upstate New York, or I'm told actually in the bathroom of her mansion.
You had dozens of CIA and American sources and operatives in China killed and imprisoned by the Chinese government because they got access to those top secret files.
One agent was actually shot and killed right in front of a Chinese government building in an apparent message designed to intimidate Washington.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance. From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
Well, we're 35 days out from this incredibly historic election. Things are heating up. You've got Christine Blasey Ford, her entire family being high-level CIA, her co-authoring top papers at Stanford in DARPA CIA-funded projects on implanting false memories and mind control under a larger directive for human experimentation and torture. It's unbelievable. So we're going to be looking more at that. This is incredible. The full article, Christine Blasey Ford ran mass hypnotic inductions to implant false memories on psychiatric participants. I'll cover this more at the bottom of the next hour if we take calls, but I went over the LA Times and Psychology Today. Did you know Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber, was in the MK Ultra mind control program? Oh, did you know that the Aurora shooter was? That was in the mainstream news. His psychiatrist was the former head of Air Force psychiatric operations. His father, a colonel, also in the Air Force, assigned to NASA and Space Command, is a top expert on machine-controlled systems in human minds. And of course, the son was paid $90,000+ a year to work directly in a mind control program. And he said he was under mind control after he carried out the shooting. And that was in the Denver Post. When you go to the Southern Poverty Law Center or Media Matters, they just say, Jones claims it's mind control. I don't claim jack diddly squat. I don't know what's going on. I just know Tim McVeigh was in a mind control program. That came out in the news. James Holmes was. Theodore Kaczynski was. And now this lady heads up major projects on implanting false memories. Good God. We got the psychiatric system's got 30% of people on psychotropic drugs, and now they want to put all the kids on them. Now they want to put lithium in the water. We've got mad scientists running the country. I told you she looks like a lunatic to me. Oh, but people say, oh, don't question a victim because she says she's a victim. She's a victim. Well, there's an article up on Infowars.com right now that I'm going to get to here in just a few minutes. You've got the Georgetown professor saying she wants to kill Kavanaugh, wants to chop his testicles off. Of course, she'll probably get an award. That same university suing me. A bunch of made-up garbage. White GOP senators deserve a miserable death. He deserves to have his testicles chopped off. That's the type of stuff we're dealing with as a culture and as a society. But first, I want to get to this report that everybody should send out. It's on Infowars.com and Newswars.com. And the version you're going to see here is edited and cut down with the cussing all cut out of it and flipping the bird and the F this, F that, deleted. Full unedited is on Infowars.com. Right now, man confronts illegals over loss of his daughter. Epic debate at Tennessee Trump rally while interviewing protesters at a recent Trump rally in Johnson City, Tennessee. A man confronts a woman advocating legal immigration over the wrongful death of his daughter by a repeat offending illegal alien. The heated exchange captures the heart of the issue, and one of the people says, "I'm illegal." Well, the whole point is we're seeing incredible arrogance here. And Mexico and everybody else controls their borders. Why can't we? There's such incredible entitlement. Go ahead and go to Millie Weaver's report.
I'll answer. I don't like the fact that he is putting kids in cage. That's inhumane, if you ask me. It's not right. I don't like the fact that he's separating families. I don't think you would have liked to be separated whenever you were younger. You know what I'm saying? And I have a strong bond with my mom. I would have never pictured myself being separated by my mom. I would have never, I know the feeling that the kids have, and it's sad. Every time I watch the news, there's even more kids being caged up. That's not right. Dogs are caged up, not humans.
So are you talking about the issue of people being deported that are here illegally?
No, I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he shouldn't cage up kids who have families who support them and love them. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's right for him to be separating children at such a young age. You know.
So are you talking about the issue where you had all the Times and a bunch of these articles talking about how kids were being separated from their family at the border?
Yeah, I think that's really inhumane. I don't think it's right.
Did you hear about how the little girl who was pictured on Time magazine crying, that her parents came out and said that was fake because they were with her the whole time and she was just kind of having a little temper tantrum, and they took that picture and they lied and said that she was a child that was being taken from her family when she never was? Did you hear about that?
All right, that's one, right? That's one. That's one person who lied. That's one person who lied. That's not all of them. That's not all of them. That's not all of them. You can get out of here. You can get out of here. You can get out of here. Get in my face.
I'm not in your space. You're in my space.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
If you guys don't care, I'm an immigrant. I'm from Argentina. I came here the right way. You have to understand that.
Go to jail. I can't.
Break it up.
Why?
Why were
Because
you?
they're down in America.
Okay.
Look what one of them did to my daughter.
So what happened? Can you tell us about
Yeah,
what
it was his
happened?
fourth DUI in Jonesboro. And an illegal hit her head on doing over 100 miles an hour and had 3 of his kids in his car. And when my grandson was with my daughter died. I don't never get to see my daughter again. He left the country. It's sorry sheriff we got let him walk right out of the hospital, right out of the county, and he's gone. He's in Mexico. Our country is so sorry they won't go to Mexico and get nobody, but they allow them to come here.
So you're really upset because you lost your daughter to
Well, how would
the
you
illegal
feel?
immigration issue?
On his 4th DUI. He was on probation for his 3rd DUI. How would you feel?
Is this your grandbaby?
This is one of them. Yeah, I got 7 of them.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. That's horrible. That's horrible.
Well, there ain't nothing that nobody can say to make me feel any better.
More of it is on Infowars.com right now. You notice the illegal aliens are all wearing Mexico soccer jerseys. They're saying F you, F that. Totally entitled, but don't want to be in Mexico. But want to come here and then get upset and get angry and get in everybody's face. It's just crazy. And it's true. It's come out even in Austin, Texas, that they let illegal aliens go for burglary, for arson, for rape, for DUI, hit and run, because they're just told, let them go. They're above the law because the left wants to cater to this to create balkanization. Very, very sad that we've gotten to this point in this country. And You see the arrogance of the folks flipping everybody off and saying F Trump, F this, and then lying. Oh, a lot of these kids get separated. You have millions of people trying to come across the border every couple of years. Like 1 million a year, really, back and forth.
I always get lurkers.
Most of the children are
CIA,
unaccompanied.
the
They're like,
CIA
got a
so
12-year-old?
far up my
Who
ass,
are you?
my
Where's your
third
ID?
quick will
Who
break
are you
their damn
with?
neck.
Oh, this is my daddy. You don't even know it's their daddy. Most of the time it's not. It's the coyote. You just stick them in general. It was the ACLU 30 years ago got the law changed so you wouldn't stick kids in with random groups you grab off the border. People bringing their kids across all that death, all that desert, they're not the bad ones. No, it's America paying for it all, but they're sure as hell fighting to get here as soon as they can. And then as soon as they get here, the left winds them up into these anti-American folks. I couldn't imagine walking around Mexico wearing USA shirts, then walking up and bitching at Mexicans. You let me have welfare and everything free. They would laugh at me and then kick my butt. Everybody knows it. But we're all seen as schmucks in America, aren't we? I'll give the number out when we come back. We got a lot more. Stay with us. I
would be remiss if I did not tip my hat to our sponsors. We have 40% off our bestseller, Brain Force, here at Infowars.com. Brain Force Plus, actually. Can I get some of this stuff sent to me? Hey, staff of Infowars, I want to try all of this. Send me like a test package of like 10 of your best stuffs. And yes, stuffs is the plural of stuff. For limited time left, we're giving you 40% off on our best-selling nootropic Brain Force Plus at Infowars.com. Brain Force Plus is one of our highest rated and best-selling Infowars Life formulas ever. And the Infowars crew uses it every day. I deal with the Infowars crew on a regular basis, and they do seem particularly sharp. I had suspected Adderall, but now I find out that it's something better. This formula uses ingredients known to boost your mind and thinking process. Whether you're stocking up or trying for the first time, now is the time to head to InfoWarsStore.com and take advantage of these great savings. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and get our bestseller, Brain Force Plus, for 40% off before we run out of stock to avoid missing out on massive savings. Now, I will be getting this from the staff at InfoWars for free because I'll be such a positive thing to endorse it. If I don't like it, though, I'm not going to say it sucks. I'll just say, maybe it was me, could be psychosomatic, didn't do nothing for me. But I have a feeling it will do something because I'm very sensitive to drugs. That's why I can't smoke pot anymore. It's too intense. Come on. Dad, have you tried what the kids are smoking these days? Yeah. I don't know how Alex Jones survived on Joe Rogan, man. Last time I tried marijuana, I was like a narc. I had to lie down on a cold cement floor shirtless. And the only reason I didn't call 911 is because the idea of being in a gurney and going down the elevator and I was at work at the time, and being like put on an ambulance, it just sounded like too much to bear.
Now, they think you're a goldfish. I've been betting on you my whole life. I believe in you. I don't think you're stupid. One man, every race of woman, all genitals were cut off, and we're kicking these traitors' asses politically, and we're not backing down ever. I want to kick these people. We're winning. I can feel the spirit rising. Can't you? We have broken their back. Yes, I can feel it. Let's go. Come on, 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 come on. Vengeance is coming. Fire is coming. The real revolution against you is coming, and you will burn in hell.
Introducing Ultimate Bone Broth Formula. We're bringing back one of the biggest fan favorite formulas we've ever offered with even better ingredients. Ultimate Bone Broth to help you save big on this new product and stock up. We're dropping the price to $19.95. Our previous supplier was unable to get the incredible ingredients while keeping the cost low. Since we wanted to make sure that you got the best value possible, we've now switched to a new supplier with even better ingredients. That's why it's now the Ultimate Bone Broth Formula. The incredible ingredients included in the Ultimate Bone Broth Formula include chicken bone broth, turmeric root, chaga mushroom, bee pollen, goji berry, and alfalfa herb powder, and even more, of course. These powerful ingredients are going to help you get the most out of your workout by supporting your healthy muscles, digestion, tendons, and ligaments, while also supporting your body's fight against free radicals. It's time to take advantage and pick up your bottle of an updated favorite formula with Ultimate Bone Broth from InfoWars Life. Thank you.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., we have the most censored, banned, attacked, lied about broadcast in the world. Because we're really just talking about common sense and giving people the news behind the news, the story behind the story. 35 days out from the election, we're going to open the phones up right now for folks that have called in lately that I didn't get to. You go to the first of the line or first-time callers. Those two different groups. I'd like to hear from you on Kavanaugh, you on these liberal professors calling for people to be murdered and killed, what's happening with the whole NAFTA situation. Some of the media spinning it that Trump sold us out on NAFTA because he now renegotiated to be a better deal. No, I mean, we have to have agreements. What do you think about that? The toll-free number to join us is 877-789-ALEX. 877-789-2539 is the number to join us, 877-789-ALEX. And we can get into any big subject you'd like to cover, from the 2 packages of ricin intercepted being sent to the Pentagon. That's breaking as well. Do you think Kavanaugh is going to get confirmed? You know, I know this. Some of these clips here in a moment. We have Julie Swetnick now saying that she doesn't remember if Kavanaugh did anything, contradicting her previous statements. And again, I've got stacks of news here where a letter was sent by an anonymous person to the Senate saying they saw Kavanaugh and another man rape a woman in a car. I mean, when you're a public figure, people say unbelievable stuff. I remember on YouTube, when I was getting divorced like 5 years ago, I got asked in depositions, and I got asked in written questions, is this your wife in Louisiana? Because some woman I'd never seen said that I was her wife. I mean, her husband. And when you're confronted with this stuff, I'm like, Kavanaugh, I'm like, what the? No. And they're like, are you sure? Because it's a mix of wanting to laugh or a mix of wanting to get angry. Because when you're a public figure, people make stuff up about you particularly. But then what's even worse is I get banned from 90 plus major platforms, from Instagram to Facebook to Twitter to Google to YouTube. And then all Google does is put hundreds of pages of negative lies and crap on top about me, and then doesn't let me respond. It's the cowardice of these big corporations. And then they get on TV and say, we're not censoring, we're not gaming our search engines, we're not doing a damn thing. And then you get their own internal documents, and their own whistleblowers go public and they say they're helping round up their political dissidents.
Hey, Lizard.
They're putting all the negative search results on top about Trump and his enemies. Stuff is right up there where they can lie about it. And I've been lumped in with Trump because I've supported the president. Because the globalists hate his guts, and he's trying as hard as he can to bring governance back to this country. Does that mean everything he does is perfect? No. But I got to tell you, he's not a dictator, and I'm glad he's not. But he can't get everything done he wants to get done. And I'm surprised by how much he's gotten done 20 months in. And a lot of people that don't appreciate it, I think, have that disease of instant gratification. I think you really, really do. And I'm not complaining in our general audience, but when people accuse me of being in a love fest with Trump, well, you're damn right it's a love fest. Because I've sacrificed a lot for President Trump, just like he sacrificed a lot for me and you, and we're in this together. And they say the pressure of persecution brings people very, very close together, and it does. Because we're all fellow travelers now, use a communist term, but in a good way. We've been through the fire together. We're going to go through more fire together. And I'll tell you, this crew has been through the fire, and I love them, and I appreciate them, and they put up with me, and just a round of applause for the InfoWars crew. And a round of applause for all of you out there that have stood with us, because we're doing this not because it's easy, but because it's the right thing to do. And I've seen evil out of our enemies, not just from the top kingpins I expected it from, but from their own grass-level minions who'd have a better life if they just stood up for what was right. But because they imagine they've got power through the system, they have taken on the spirit of corruption, the fallen spirit of the establishment, and will now do anything. I've experienced people that I knew for 15 years tell lies that are 100%, God is my witness on my children, lies. Do you expect something to be true? Like, wow, you made it all up. You didn't find something and spin it. You just made up total lies. That hurts. It hurts me to know how far you've fallen, and that the general public is that evil, and that people bite the hand that feeds them. But I'm telling you, it's the entitlement society where the weak think the strong are there to take care of them. And when we try to take care of the weak, they then try to make us their slaves. The globalists say, hey, control the weak, make them weaker, make them think you're helping them, but really enslave them. And that's the real system you've got from the Democrats. Trump is trying to empower the individual, the family, the worker, the striver. He's trying to reboot and defibrillate our heart. And for that, he's hated by the controllers who gave up on themselves, gave up on humanity a long, long, long time ago. Next hour, I'll go right to your phone calls, Chris and Brendan and Luke and Cynthia and Mike and everybody else at 877-789-ALEX. And I'll get to some of these clips as well of Kavanaugh accuser now changing her story and so much more. But I got to tell you, it makes my head spin that 9 times out of 10, when you've got a big mass shooting or a big Supreme Court debacle or a Unabomber, you'll just say in the newspaper, they were in the CIA mind control program. That's not my opinion. That's Psychology Today. The Aurora shooter, Tim McVeigh, Oklahoma City, a Unabomber. And I don't know what's going on. I just know something's going on. You might have 1/10 to 1% of people in these mind control programs, and then 90% of the people involved in all this stuff are in the program. Something's going on. Riddle me this, Batman. Put up to be Sherlock Holmes to know something's going on here. And see, these people don't want you looking at it. They don't want you investigating it. They don't want you talking about it. And they don't want this broadcast up here getting into it. And that's why they're trying to shut us down. But I can tell you something right now. You think I want to sue the Pepe the Frog creator when he sued me? I had to sue him even though they tried to settle for nothing, because they just want to tell me what images I can use when it's fair use. And he said it was fair use. You think I want to sue PayPal? I got to stand up against this market of the beast system, but I'm doing it. And that's why I need you to fund our operation, because we're at war for not just what InfoWars is doing, but for your rights as well. And I am fighting, and I'm swinging for the fences, and I'm not giving up, and I believe in you. So I'm going to go down with this ship, or I'm going to roll through the enemy and win on the other side, because the fight's where I want to be, and I want to be on the right side of history and the right side of God. But I'll tell you this. It is so powerful when you go to InfoWarsStore.com and you get T-shirts and you wear them in public and you meet like-minded people and you exercise that First Amendment and you get past the fear. When you get the supplements and see how great they work compared to other supplements, you find out we put more high-quality ingredients in the products than anybody else we know of anywhere. Ours are the best. Tomorrow's the last day to get Brain Force Plus 40% off. The Great Nootropic, 40% off. Secret 12, high quality, B12 under the tongue. You'll absorb a lot more of it. That's about to end. You know, I'd said today was the last day to get PayPal, but I talked to the lawyers last night and this morning. They said, no, we're doing an injunction to stop it. Keep it up there. They say Thursday's the last day. And then if they take it down, that's another issue. You won't be able to use PayPal, InfoWarsStore.com. But if your order goes through, we'll get it and it'll be shipped to you. So you still use PayPal and InfoWarsStore.com. I said today was the last day, but things changed because obviously we filed suit in San Francisco against PayPal for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, no shit.
You can read the complaint at InfoWars.com. But we're fighting. Other people say, oh, we wish someone would fight the UN or fight Hillary. Well, we put airplanes up all over the country against her and said she was a monster. And Hillary for Prison shirts, you wore them. And we had thousands of folks go to her events and point out Bill Clinton's a rapist. And we did it. We got on her radar, and now she's trying to destroy me. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, we're a weapon system of the truth that needs to be maintained. But regardless, I've done service to the country and to you and to myself and everybody else, but I would ask for your hopes and your prayers and your financial support. Because you know what? I'm willing to be destroyed, but darn it, that'll be a big victory for the enemy, and I hope it doesn't happen. So make the decision to go to InfoWarsStore.com today and belly up to the bar and get some of those great products and sign up for AutoShip. Get an additional 10% off at InfoWarsStore.com. Because without you, Soros and that witch Hillary win. With your help, we're unstoppable. You keep coming through, but I don't come through promoting the products. X2 is the best halogen. It's the purest iodine you can find on the market. It's in the palm oil. It's organic. We get it from oil companies that get it at 7,000 to 12,000 feet. And it's part of the industrial sabotage we're under. That these companies always find out who we are. They try to jack up the prices and play games. And I broke the contract, so that's it for X2. It's amazing. I'm opening another company. We're working on it. Looks like we've got some ideas, but it's going to be a while till we get more in. It'll be under a new name. When you reformulate under the FDA rules, you got to change the name. But this is the last run of Survival Shield X2. Get it, experience why so many people are deficient in it. 4.9 star reviews, 6,000 plus reviews, 98%. Nobody else has got that on Power Reviews. So InfoWarsStore.com. We have some of the new specials. I just haven't got rid of this one yet. 40% off the amazing Nootropic Brain Force. People love it. It's excellent. 40% off Secret 12, highest quality organic B12. BuzzFeed tested it. Said, oh, his is real clean and real good, but the best is this. Well, ours is the private label of what they said is the best in the country. What morons. Oh, and ours was $10 less than what Jeff Bezos sells. The point is, these are products you need. Air filtration, water filtration, non-GMO heirloom seeds, books, t-shirts, videos. I've got the new George Washington, Venus Prime, Indian War shirt that great patriots in a local military group designed and put together. It's got him with the tomahawk and the musket. So that's another bestseller. And these are limited editions at InfoWarsStore.com. Everything's game-changing at InfoWarsStore.com. So yes, I don't keep extending for 3-4 days the sale on X2 because, you know, it's just, oh, it's our last day. It's our last day. I have been so busy on air. And so busy, like a one-legged man in a you-know-what contest. This is the last day to get X2. I've got to go do the specials right now. I'm going to shoot some ads for the new t-shirts too. So sign up for AutoShip. And yeah, even if the X2 sells out, we're going to hold back for one more shipment. Whoever signed up for AutoShip, you'll get an additional 10% off. So that's one way to make sure you get the next run of X2 as well.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
You gotta keep them separated.
We now take you live to the Central Texas Command Center and the heart of the resistance.
I'm your host, Alex Jones. We're on your phone calls right now. Then I'm going to play some of the Kavanaugh accusers backtracking on what they've said. Wow. Imagine my surprise. You know, I had one of my lawyers on. He's a smart guy, Mark Mendoza, but he's more of a classical liberal. And he liked Kavanaugh on the First Amendment, not on the Fourth Amendment, which I tend to agree. Kavanaugh's been a little too police statey on the Fourth Amendment. The court's been so leftist, I think that balances it out. I mean, hell, the left is for a bigger police state than the right wing is today. He's got a good point about Kavanaugh getting upset, but at the same time, I'd be upset. I'm pissed off. I'm tired of let me tell you something. I'm sick of people that can just sit there and take it and roll over to lies. Like Gavin McInnes said yesterday. Well, since when do conservatives just roll over, like the head of the EPA because he got in front of a restaurant, quit? If we act like that to the left, to these bullies, they're going to go wild on us. So we're going to go to your calls here. Travis, David, Donald, Adam, Josh, Stephanie, Chris, Brandon, Luke, Cynthia, Mike, and many, many others. Who is up first here? Talk to Donald, then we'll go to Stephanie, then we'll go to Cynthia. Donald, you're on the air worldwide. Thanks for holding.
Alex, it's great to talk with you.
Good to talk to you.
Let me, I called you about the Kavanaugh nomination, but let me say right up front that you and I have never personally met, but sometime maybe, hopefully we will, because I'm going to tell you, when you got a lot of credibility with me was when the campaign was going on with Donald Trump when he was a candidate, and with the crooked Clinton machine. She called you out at one of her rallies, and she never did that with anybody else. And that told me then that you were spot on about what was going to happen. You were one of the very few. You kept the faith up as far as who was going to win the election. And I just want to give a 100% shout out to your team, Leanne, Millie, Owen, David, and whoever I've left out. Just and
by the way, Leanne is still on the team. People ask about her every day. I don't want to get into her personal life, but her grandma and then another person close to her, she needs people's prayers. I mean, cancer has been attacking her family. So her family needs your prayers because it's gotten really rough for her.
Exactly. And I certainly will be doing that. When Millie Weaver went to Ohio and exposed the Clinton campaign.
Oh, isn't Millie incredible?
Absolutely. And let me say that she didn't have anybody. All she had was the deep state. And you exposed it. And that's why they're going after you. And they're going to fail because this is not some third world banana republic. This is the United States of America. And you are a media hero. And
well, brother, I want to say this. Look, if you know about the evil, just like you've done, and Millie and Gavin and everybody, you know it's the right thing to do. And so it's about survival. And I just want everybody else to understand, we can beat these folks, but we have stirred them up like an anthill, and they're making their moves. So folks need to know, we didn't win when Trump got in. We just got the beachhead. They are coming out of their anthills right now, and now is the time for folks to understand that things are serious.
Yeah, but they're losing consistently. And that leads me right up to the Kavanaugh nomination.
I'll tell you what, stay there, Donald, because I got to go to break in 30 seconds. Come right back to Donald, Maryland. Don't hang up, Donald. We'll come back to Donald, then we're going to go to Stephanie and Cynthia and everybody else. Boom, boom, boom. He's making some good points. I want to hear what he has to say about Kavanaugh. Listen, that wasn't an act last week when I blew up on air about watching Kavanaugh being accused. I can't watch these hearings now, and I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I've been falsely accused so much that at a certain point, I can't watch these people anymore because I want to get very aggressive because they're damn liars. And we know they're liars. And I'm sick of everyone bending over backwards. If you're a Democrat and you say something, I don't believe the sky's blue if you said it was, because you're a pack of trash. You're a known group of liars like the devil.
Word.
Hey, what happens if you try to order your favorite InfoWars Life product only to find out they're sold out? Yeah, I know it kind of sucks, but there is a solution. All you got to do is go to InfoWarsStore.com and click on Auto Ship. Bam! Problem solved just like that. And now you're scheduled for regular delivery. That means no more back orders, and you'll never run out of your favorite InfoWars Life products again. Pretty cool. But guess what? It gets better. When you sign up for Auto Ship at InfoWarsStore.com, you get an additional 10% off that product. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. So what are you waiting for? Support the InfoWar. Order and click on Auto Ship at InfoWarsStore.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
He aligns himself with the truth, and it's time for you to choose a side. You're listening to Alex Jones.
Chaos is hanging around, put your ear to the ground. sound. The death machine makes woman down. It's gaining pound for pound. A gas mask is the couture.
All right, coming up, we've got a bunch of the different Kavanaugh accusers now backtracking. A bunch of the other cases have been trying to be fake. The national news runs, oh, we got a letter at the Senate saying he raped a woman in a car. It's a Jane Doe. There's no address or no phone number, but we're going to run with it. I mean, I could go pin on somebody's door that they had sex with hippopotamuses. Wouldn't mean it was true. You got to put it on CNN. And then leftist professor who said Kavanaugh supporters should be killed and castrated has been suspended by Twitter. What about by Georgetown? I mean, these people are using psychological warfare. You read the WikiLeaks, it says we need to use culture war, race war. And they're all a bunch of weird, crazy white women. 90% of them are whacked out, angry, pissed off man-haters. I love women, by the way. I love my grandmothers. I love my mother. I have 3 daughters. I like the company of women better than men. All I do is hang around with women. I love the way women look, the way they smell. They're funny. I like to spoil them. I've never been anything but nice to women. But I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, it's weird, whacked out, crazy white women that want to control other women. Everybody knows about that phenomenon. And who want to run our lives. They're control freaks, man. And they're trying to train all the other women in America that the state's their husband or that they're their husband. And I'm sick of it. And I'm tired of it. And I see the headlines, this Hollywood star says men just need to shut up and sit down. And this Democrat woman says men need to sit down and shut up. And men are always guilty and men are horrible and men are bad. BS, man. Imagine we said women are inherently bad. This is just the most sexist, racist garbage because that's what they're using for control. They don't want you to take your birthright of free market and wealth and family and success. They want the university and these cults and these failed systems to be your family so they can run your life, women. The men are busy watching football and acting like idiots. So I know why you're mad at them, but give me a break. This is scientifically deployed to ruin your life. All right, let's go back to Donald in Maryland. Donald, thanks for holding. You're going to make a point about Kavanaugh. Go ahead.
Absolutely. This is just an attack on Trump voters and Americans who support, as the president says, the movement. This attack on you is to silence the movement of making America great again. And this is an attempt to make Kavanaugh to be some evil force, which is totally false. It's an attempt to make one more attack on the movement to make America great again. And it doesn't matter what your race, your religion, your sexual orientation, your age, your status as an American. And that's why they're trying to silence you. And by the way, they're going to fail. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Well, I know so far they failed, but the problem is every time they fail, they just ratchet the attack up. But I'm ready to go wherever it goes. It's extremely criminal. It's extremely organized. And it's extremely dangerous. God bless you, Donald. I appreciate your call. Okay, up next here is Stephanie. And we're going to go to Cynthia and others. Stephanie from Texas, thank you for calling. Welcome.
Hi, Alex. I love you so much.
Love you too.
The thing is, okay, so I'm going to be really fast. I bought the X2. It's amazing. It helps with all kinds of things that you wouldn't think it would even help with, and it's amazing. So I appreciate your product.
Well,
other thing,
sure, just interrupt. Folks, just try Real Iodine, Real X2 for yourself. It's our last run of it. Discover why there's an iodine conspiracy. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I have like a thyroid issue, and so that's why I've always studied iodine. And you're 100% right. The nascent iodine is completely different. It's amazing. And I just absolutely, I need to buy like 10 more bottles so I can stock up. But the other thing too is You are amazing. You're always 20 years ahead. It really bothers me when people try to, the people that have had fluoride poisoning their whole life can't think for themselves. You talk the way I would talk if I was talking to a friend. Your filter isn't really there, but you are amazing. The news, the things that you're willing to say, you're very amazing. So
well, you're amazing. I mean, seriously, it's the audience. They want me shut down because I've read their own documents. They're public. They don't want us together. They don't want us talking. They don't want us getting validation. They don't want us to know that we have a community. They want us to be alone. And they don't want minorities, who are the majority now, to see the Tea Party loving everybody and to see record numbers of blacks, Hispanics, women being elected as conservatives because they're smart and beautiful and wonderful, and we're all one team. And that's why they're scared. Double the number of blacks becoming Trump supporters. Double the number of Hispanics in the last year. Didn't happen the first year of Trump. It's happening the last 10 months. There's a landslide of awakening happening.
I'm proud. I thought, well, it's like you say, if you can just wake up one person. And so I have woken up some minority friends, because it's whenever you try to have a conversation, intelligent conversation with people that have their strong opinions that are wrong, they never have any research to back it up. They're going by what they heard on, crazy news and whatnot. And the thing is, with this shadow banning, I've been a blogger for 10 years. I have seen what they do, and basically you've always had to pay, to get to the top of the queue. It could never just be, because I would always wonder, why are the people with the crappy content at the top? Well, they paid. They paid in one form or another. They inched forward. And so I've seen already. I posted a pro-Trump thing on Facebook, and I got one of my pages taken away. And I had to go through all these hoops and get legal documents notarized just to get my page back that I've had for 10 years. And it happened right after I posted this really cool pro-Trump video. But back to you.
No, but that's it. They're doing it to everyone and then denying they're doing it when their own internal documents and videos and lawsuits have them going, we hate all veterans and we hate all rednecks and we hate all people with American flags and we really hate Alex Jones. Those are, it's like, what type of crazy people are these?
Well, and the only people that don't get it are the ones that care nothing except for like puppy videos and, stuff like that. They don't get it because they're already not awake. And so when I try to talk to people, sometimes I'm just like, oh God, what's the point? Because cluelessness, and you could be talking to a filthy rich person that's a doctor, or
sure.
and it's like, my God, you don't have any, sometimes I really try to pick people's brains and see where they're at. There's nothing there.
Well, let me ask you this, Stephanie, the time we have left. You also had a comment on Ford and her believability.
So reading people is my thing. I am telling you, the baby voice, I sat there with an open mind watching it. And by the time that he spoke and he got to come back the next day or whenever it was, I cried. I cry over nothing. I'm a strong woman. I'm 49. And I cried because I can read his body language, his tone, his everything. And with research I've done from people that do body language reading, their thing is exactly what I say. She's lying. She's manipulating. It happened to me, several times. But one time at work, it was pretty severe and weird and creepy. If somebody's attracted to me, that's great. And you hit on me, but I'm not interested. That's one thing. But when it's creepy guy, rubbing himself up against you and holding you down against your will, which is what happened to me at work, I immediately I quit, but I was so shocked. Within the first 6 months, I could not tell the owner of the company. And I had a meeting with the owner of the company 5 minutes after this happened to me because it was already scheduled. So this is an 80-year-old Asian man. I, at 32, did not have the guts to right that minute speak for myself and say, oh my God, your number one man from corporate just rubbed himself all over me and held me down in the back. I couldn't do it. But 6 months, and I told other people at work so they would be aware. I'd already known about his.
Hold on, I want to hear your final point as we come back.
It's a no.
You cannot make this stuff up. And I tell you all of it. I could literally keep you here all night because the stories are just so unbelievable. This is coming to a theater near you. The epidemic of malicious fake news and false propaganda that flooded social media over the past year, it's now clear that so-called fake news can have real-world consequences. The Russians, in my opinion, and based on the intel and counter-intel people I've talked to, could not have known how best to weaponize that information unless they had been guided. And here's guided by Americans. Guided by Americans. And so voters who are being targeted with all of this false information are genuinely trying to make up their minds. What does it mean? It's a danger that must be addressed, and addressed quickly. Bipartisan legislation is making its way through Congress to boost the government's response to foreign propaganda, and Silicon Valley is starting to grapple with the challenge and threat of fake news. There have been a series of studies, academic studies, since the election, trying to figure out why people voted the way they did, because it defied all the polls. Nobody was ready for it. And people relied on what they saw in the media, but even more so online. It's also what happens when you listen to the radio host, Alex Jones, who claims that 9/11 and the Oklahoma City bombings were inside jobs. But Trump doesn't challenge these lies. He actually went on Jones's show and said,
"Your reputation's amazing. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed, I hope."
We've got a statement now with regard to PayPal and reports that it has ended its relationship with InfoWars.
PayPal joining a slew of tech companies that have severed ties with conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, hitting his InfoWars where it hurts by no longer allowing the site to use the payment processor.
PayPal is the latest company to sever ties with Jones after YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest.
Social media giants acting this time before it's too late. Their goal, to prevent fake news and propaganda from influencing the upcoming U.S. midterm election.
I'm glad that the Congress and others are looking at Facebook and Twitter and Google, because they are the vehicles, one of the very first vehicles to deliver this kind of information to people. And then they began to weaponize them. And they began to have some of their allies within the internet world, like InfoWars, take out pieces and begin to say the most outrageous, outlandish, absurd lies you can imagine. If something popped up in a Facebook feed and looked like a news report, people were inclined to believe it. And if they were already targeted psychologically to be receptive to the information provided, they were influenceable.
InfoWars comes to mind, where those are echo chambers.
The White House and the president are citing InfoWars. The real election meddling is by Facebook and Google and others that are shadow banning people, that are outright banning people, and that are blocking conservatives involved in their own First Amendment political speech. Shame on the mainstream corporate media for not defending the First Amendment, but instead attack dogging, calling for federal regulators to shut down independent free press, working with big tech.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Rallying patriots worldwide in defense of human liberty. It's Alex Jones.
Okay, so Stephanie, I'm looking up here on the calling board, and it says, holding, the final point on assaults. You're saying you've been sexually assaulted twice before. I don't want to get into any details, but I've had family that's been sexually assaulted. One time back in college, somebody came in with a knife and actually, raped someone that I know. I'll just leave it at that. So I know this goes on. I have 3 daughters. It horrifies me. But America statistically has pretty low levels of this compared to third world countries, Asia, Latin America, all these other countries that kill gay people. And I'm always hearing about how we're so mean to everybody here. And I'm just sick of all these special interests bullying everybody. And then 36 years later with no witnesses and no cooperation, and then her whole family's CIA, and she's in a mind control program herself. and writes papers. I'm not kidding, folks. If you just tuned in, stories on Infowars.com about how to implant false memories. I mean, just the craziest stuff, and just none of it has credibility. How they waited to the 11th hour, all of it. But getting back to you, give us the juxtaposition, how this ties into Kavanaugh, and why it said on the board that you didn't believe Ms. Ford, Dr. Ford, yourself being a victim of this, why it wasn't congruent for you.
Because if she is truly a person with psychological training, she would have known that to heal herself, she should have screamed from the highest rooftop 10 years ago, 15 years ago, something other than now. But also when she was saying, didn't have answers, nothing was fluid, her posing became different. She became, pretty pose, cute and small and baby voice. Like when I'm telling someone that I want you to know that I'm telling you the truth, I look you straight in the eye. I speak with an adult voice and I tell you the truth.
Oh, that was the thing, is that she acted real babyish at points and would act all nice and giggly at others. I mean, to me, the whole thing came off very contrived.
Yeah, and some of the wording that she used was very juvenile, and she would use some of the diction that young girls use. Like, I can't remember the exact words, but the words were not, they were very baby. They were very young. We are 15 again. They are boys. The boys, but here's my thing. There should be a statute of limitations for children of victims of abuse. They should be maybe 30. I think I've heard somebody say that before. But when you are an adult, you need to, what I did was I woke up. 4 months later, I found out that the man at my job that assaulted me, and I left a very good job because of it, because he was always creepy, making me feel creepy, and then finally, he did his thing. But the thing is, I called the owner's nephew, who I had worked closely with, and I said, let me explain something to you. I want nothing. I'm asking for nothing. I need nothing except for you to know that this happened. And I need you to tell, the owner of the company, your uncle. And I sat there, he let me talk for an hour and a half and rant about the particulars of exactly what he did to me, what day it was, what I was
Sure,
doing.
and what happened?
They took him out of stores. This was retail. They took him out of stores and they made him start. He was not allowed to go in stores anymore. To this day, he still has his job. But my point is, I let all the other women know in the pathway that were still working there when I left.
Sure, so you did the right thing. You protected people from it. Thank you so much for the call. I would just get rid of somebody that did that. But it shows like these Catholic priests that molest little kids, they then send them to another parish. It's like under the rug. And I think that's what angers a lot of people. And then the left preys upon that, basically rubs salt in the wound. Thanks for the call. Okay, Cynthia in Washington, D.C. You're on the air. Welcome to the airwaves. Go ahead.
Hello, Alex. I'm Cynthia Farhat. I'm an Egyptian immigrant to the U.S. And I want to tell you that I'm extremely sorry for your persecution and what happened to you. Although I wasn't following InfoWars before your banning and censorship, it awakened a very, very dark part of my life when I was in Egypt, and I founded the political party that was standing for individual freedom and separation of mosque and state. And I was starting to write in newspapers and mainstream ones, and my articles were getting popular. And I got banned, and the Egyptian government even said that my name was not allowed to be mentioned, even to criticize me. I was completely unpersoned.
Oh, yeah. And that's now happening to me, where they say, don't even say his name. And Americans are like, yes, we will. Just getting in line very, very quickly.
It's horrific. It's horrific, Alex. And then I co-authored a book criticizing Egyptian blasphemy laws, and it was banned by the Islamic Al-Azhar University in Cairo. And I was completely unpersoned. I was getting 10 to 50 death threats a day. And then and then I came to America, and in 2015 the tide turned, and mainstream Egyptian newspapers told me, we want you to write on ways to counter Islamic terrorism. And now my columns, I get zero censorship. They don't even edit at my typos. They publish everything that I write exactly the way I wrote it.
Cynthia, I think I've heard of you.
Right.
What's your full name? You should come on as a guest.
Cynthia Farhat. I'm specialized in Islamic terrorism and the Muslim Brotherhood.
No, I remember, and then you got banned and had to leave because of Obama and the Arab Spring. But then after those terrorists were taken out, that they brought free speech back. That's good news.
They brought it back. Zero censures, because you know why, Alex? Because this will happen to you too, because you're a patriot. I might disagree with things that you say, but at the end of the day, you're a patriot. You are on the right side of history because you are for individual freedom, for live and let live. And we are going.
Oh yeah, they just put your picture up. I've seen you all over national TV. You're also very beautiful, not just a great writer.
Thank you, sir. But that's what I wanted to tell you, that after they did this to you, I downloaded your app and I said, I got to check out what Mr. Jones is saying, because we're now fellow travelers. So I downloaded your app, and ever since you're banned, I've never missed a show of yours, because now this is a fight for freedom and a fight for truth. And you have supporters across the globe.
Well, you're really a famous lady. I mean, you've been all over the news when they banned you, and all you were doing was warning about the radical Islamic takeover, because Egypt had been one of the more tolerant areas of the Middle East, and then Obama obviously backed that violent overthrow. Why do you think Obama did that?
I think it's very mysterious. I don't think we'll ever know his exact motivations or reasons. But it's definitely an incredibly shady. It can't be good. Obama destroyed our country completely, and he was backing the Muslim Brotherhood and terrorists. And Mrs. Hillary Clinton was also supporting the Muslim Brotherhood, and she was aware. One of her emails, and nobody ever talked about that, by the way, in WikiLeaks, she was aware of a conspiracy between the military and the Brotherhood to mass murder Christians in a specific event.
In fact, I knew that. I remember. Stay right there. I want to come back, Cynthia. You're amazing, and we'll give you her full name when we come back. A few more minutes with her. Wow, how cool is it to open the phones up and have people like this journalist who they? If I remember, you barely made it out of the country alive, didn't you?
Yes, I almost got killed.
Yeah. So, folks, we talk about Tommy Robinson being a hero or Cynthia being heroes. We haven't gone to that level yet. We don't want to go to that level, but it's getting into that danger zone. That's why America's in so much trouble. When they tell people don't even say Alex Jones's name now on Google and things unless it's negative, it's very, very dangerous. We're going to come back with Cynthia here in just a moment from Washington, D.C., and then we'll go to all the other callers. Yeah, there she is on Fox News right there. Infowars.com, newswars.com. She's Cynthia Farhat, F-A-R-A-H-A-T. We'll be right back.
InfoWars' own Secret 12 is 40% off at InfoWarsStore.com. Discover what our super advanced vitamin B12 proprietary formula can do for you today with 40% off retail price. As always with InfoWars Life products, when you try Secret 12, you know you are securing the highest quality formulation that has been created using proprietary technology housed with a GMP certified laboratory inside the United States. And you're supporting an organization that you believe in. Stock up now on the only B12 supplement you'll ever need before it's too late with Secret 12 from InfoWars Life at 40% off. Get the powerful formula today before we run out of stock on our extended New Year sale. By the way, you see a lot of liberals scoff at all of these products and say, it's some crazy pill, it doesn't even work. Woo-hoo, crazy town. I know famous people in Hollywood, and before Trump, I hung out with them before I was down. They're all taking B12. They're all injecting it. It was the hot thing. This was B16, I guess, before Trump was elected. But I even tried it, and I thought, isn't it weird how trusting I am that I'm letting this celebrity inject me with a syringe? This could be poison for all I know. And then they dump me because of Trump. And I'm like, I trusted you with my life. You could have given me AIDS. And now you don't trust me? Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Bodies used as a medicinal herb for thousands of years, turmeric is one of the most studied ingredients known today. It is there for the joint support, mobility support, flexibility support, inflammation support, immune support, and it's got the turmeric root extract, the Boswellia serrata extract, organic spearmint, sage, lemon balm, and thyme leaves, and piperine from black pepper. It will help you take control of your body and feel the power of turmeric like never before. Right now at InfoWarsStore.com, please support this network.
We've got a statement now with regard to PayPal and reports that it has ended its relationship with InfoWars.
PayPal joining a slew of tech companies that have severed ties with conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, hitting his InfoWars where it hurts by no longer allowing the site to use the payment processor.
PayPal is the latest company to sever ties with Jones after YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest.
Last month, the website called Right Wing Watch posted a report highlighting PayPal's continued business relationship with InfoWars, and the Washington Post also noted how business on the InfoWars stores was booming.
PayPal is the latest big tech company to cut ties with far-right conspiracy website InfoWars, dealing a blow to one of founder Alex Jones's revenue sources.
This is, of course, coming at a time when many, at least reports out there of possible censorship of conservative voices and other people in the media has come to light as well. So Contessa is certainly a story that we're following very closely.
It actually fuels the Trump base because they do feel like they're being silenced.
And we're also standing up to social media censorship. That's the new thing.
Apple, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter have all booted Jones off their platforms. PayPal on Thursday night informed InfoWars, which runs an online storefront that sells survival gear and herbal supplements, that it has 10 business days to find a new payment processor.
You can't pick one person and say, well, we don't like what he's been saying, he's out. We have literally thousands and thousands of complaints coming in, and you just can't do that.
Jones hit back on his website, saying the InfoWarsStore.com site had no political content, and the move emphasizes how the decision was a broader attack on the InfoWars platform.
A PayPal spokesperson says, quote, "We undertook an extensive review of the InfoWars sites and found instances that promoted hate speech,
and bullying policies."
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones.
You know, I don't want to go on air and say that Christine Blasey Ford is a CIA mind control operative.
But she is.
But she works in a DARPA program and publishes articles on brainwashing, on planting false memories, on creating classical Manchurian candidates. It's not just like she's in some program that's connected to that. And it's like, really? And the whole family CIA? And the brother-in-law, and the grandpa, and the daddy, and the brother? And it's like, it never ends with these people. To all these idiots go, I bet Jones is in some intelligence agency or something. I would be embarrassed to be in some intelligence agency at this point. I've had family that was in the military and was assigned to stuff like that. And they said, the New World Order, the world government's evil. It's anti-family. It's anti-God. It's anti-Christian. Stand against it. That's what I grew up hearing. So it's just insane. We're going to go back to Cynthia Farrat, who's a very famous journalist who called in. We're honored to have her. I want to get her on as an official guest via Skype or in studio very soon. I remember admiring her work. She's been proven totally right about the Islamists and the Arab Spring and Obama funding it out of Kenya. Now that's all come out. She had to leave the country. They tried to kill her. We'll talk to her in just a minute. But this is Senator Cornyn. Just minutes ago during the break, I was watching this live, saying that they're not extending it another 7 days. It's all a big plot. Here it is.
Friday was for 7 days, up to 7 days for an additional supplemental background investigation by the FBI. And as the majority leader has said, we will get that. But now you're starting to hear new arguments being made since they realized that everything the witnesses had previously told the Judiciary Committee under oath, under penalty of felony, they are likely to tell the FBI the same thing. It would make sense to me. But now they want to focus on Judge Kavanaugh's high school yearbook. Give me a break. That just shows the sort of desperation that the other side has to not only deny the nominee a fair and dignified confirmation process, but to turn this into a three-ring circus. And now we're talking about throwing ice on somebody when you're in college as disqualifying you from a seat on the United States Supreme Court. This has not been a search for the truth. This has been about search and destroy. In the process, setting a precedent we will regret for the rest of our lives, where an unproven accusation is enough to deny somebody a confirmation in the United States Senate. And in fact, as Rachel Mitchell pointed out, the confirmation was all not in favor of Judge Kavanaugh's position that what was alleged never happened. So this is about whether we're going to continue to have a presumption of innocence, due process of law, fairness, listen to both sides, and that's what's happened so far, but in a way that should never have turned out into the spectacle that it has, primarily because the ranking member sat on the accusation of July 30th, creating the circumstance we have now. But what we're seeing is just one excuse after another to continue to delay.
And that's key right there. They sat on it to then run the clock at the end and then try to delay, saying there wasn't time. So that's what they've done. Cynthia Farhat has called in. We're getting her on as an official guest. She's a famous journalist, CynthiaFarhat.com. And that's F-A-R-A-H-A-T. She's a famous female reporter who almost got killed reporting on the radical Islamists taking over Egypt, and they blew up hundreds of churches. And she was getting into the Secretary of State at the time, and CNN was promoting it, all of them, how great this was, the Arab Spring. Google helped push it. So in hindsight, we know it's 2020. I read your articles on air at the time. You were getting into Hillary and the targeting of Christians. What's the master plan? Why would you diabolically overthrow some of our longest allies who are being open free societies compared to the Muslim Brotherhood and letting Jews, Christians, and women have some basic rights? Why in the world would they do that? And why were they trying to silence you?
There's a lot of money involved in promoting terrorism. I was offered a job that would give me close to $700,000 a year, just to modify what I'm saying, not even radically to change what I'm saying, just to modify it. That's very tempting, almost $1 million a year. And I would become powerful. I was offered tons of bribes, and some people don't have the moral courage to say no to something like that. It can be done for ideological reasons, and I believe former President Barack Obama did it for ideological reasons. I have no evidence, and that's why it's only a theory. So I believe he supports the Muslim Brotherhood because he is very radical, and he does not believe in the American Constitution and the American values. And unfortunately, this has become very popular right now, to hate the Constitution, to hate free speech, to hate individual freedom, to hate patriots, and to demonize them, and to spread rumors about them and attack them and harass them. So that's why what happened to you gave me nightmares, because it brought back all this. They abducted my brother, and they made me listen to him getting tortured for me to compromise, and I still did not compromise, and I will never compromise. And then he was saved only because I refused to negotiate, because I do not negotiate with terrorists. They thought I must be very powerful to be able to do that. And they released him, and he was home, although they hurt him badly, and he had 3 surgeries in his jaws, but still he got back home.
Wow. No, I remember following your story at the time, and to see Obama and Hillary, get into the targeting of Christians, because I remember that. How many churches, I know it was in the hundreds, got blown up, and our media was just celebrating how great it was?
Yes, the most conservative number was 72 churches that were attacked. And actually, I was going to get killed on October 9th, 2011, during a protest for religious freedom. And I was going with friends of mine. I got a fever that day that ended up saving my life, because one of my friends was killed there, execution style, because he was protesting peacefully for religious freedom. That's it. There was not a single personal violent value we ever advocated for.
Sure. And was it true that Christians were getting crucified?
No, we did not have any cases of Christians getting crucified, but we had Christians set on fire. We had Christians getting killed. And Ms. Clinton knew that there was a conspiracy to kill Christians in her email, to kill Coptic Christians. And then after she got that email, she got the email and she read it and she forwarded it to one of her aides. after she got that brief from Mr. Sidney Blumenthal, she still supported the Muslim Brotherhood, fully knowing that they were involved in a genocide against the Egyptian Christians.
Wow. Well, let me get your info, Cynthia. I'd love to get you on as a guest. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
God bless. You know, that's the thing. We had a huge audience of high quality people of every stripe, every color, every religion, every region before. But now that they banned us off the social media, it's harder to reach new people. But we've gotten a lot of new radio stations and TV stations, and the quality of the listeners went from amazing to stratospheric. We already have Congress listening, we already have foreign governments listening, and intelligence agencies listening, because they know we're covering real issues here. But man, I mean, the people listening now, if I told you who listens and who calls me, and it's all off record, but you know, world leaders, top Fox News host, a lot of members of Congress. We had a lot before, but this is like Fight Club now. So you can tell people, your friends and family, hey, Alex Jones, are trying to shut him down for a reason. It's the guest, it's the callers, it's the information. Learn why the system wants Infowars.com shut down. Learn what scares them so much. The truth. I'll play clips of Soros on 60 Minutes saying the best time of his life was serving Hitler, and he made happy time. That's a quote. And then I show the news saying I'm a liar, he never served Hitler. I mean, a lot of it's not that fancy. It's just we're willing to tell it like it is. So Infowars.com, Newswars.com, PrisonPlanet.com. Just tell friends and family, hey, don't have to agree with it. Listen, just see what all the hubbub's about. Newswars.com. All right, we're going to come back. I'm going to race through calls. I promise. A whole bunch of them. Each caller gets about a minute and a half. We just had so many amazing callers today. Let's talk to Victor in Florida. Victor, you're calling. Go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Alex. First, I just want to mention, if people just go and try the products, they will be ordering all the time. I've ordered several of the products over and over because it's amazing. In particular, Silver Bullet, as soon as I start to feel like I get a little sick, you know, maybe like a little raspiness in my throat, I drop some Silver Bullet, and it I'll still feel a little sick, but it won't last as long. And I just ordered the Body, the Alpha Power, and the Pollen Block.
Well, let me just say something, Victor. It's people like you that then fund the whole operation, because a very small percentage of people buy products, and a very small percentage of them buy a lot of the products. So thank you. But when you mention the Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver, it's got thousands of reviews, a 98% review. It is our highest reviewed product because it is from the top lab in the country, discounted high quality colloidal silver. And it's not a silver bullet. It's the closest thing you're going to find to a silver bullet. One of the most amazing products that I've seen in years is Instantly Ageless from Jeunesse, available at InfoWarsYes.com. Now, I've got some bags under my eyes, especially right now with really bad allergies in Austin, Texas. Mold's been at like 1,400 or something, as high as it ever gets. That makes me get puffy. But if I use just one little container of Ageless, and I can share it with both eyes, within 3 minutes, you'll see dramatic results, ladies and gentlemen, because I've got some bad bags with allergies, plus I work 15, 16 hours a day. Everybody knows fighting a globalist is a stressful job. So, again, just twist it off. Even, a dummy like me can put it under. Because I'm not a big metrosexual guy, that worries about my wrinkles, worries about things like that. But when it comes to having bags under your eyes, being on television, or just anybody in regular life, it's something good to do. And again, a lot of folks use one per eye. I have found that the times I've used it, I don't even need to use an entire container. So there you go. I'm not a cosmetic person. I'm not an expert on skin, any of that stuff. All I know is over the years I've tried some other products, haven't done anything. Ageless has a massive effect. So you get a great product for yourself, for your wife, for your boyfriend, for your girlfriend. It's good for men and women. And you find the InfoWar at InfoWarsYes.com. So let's see what happens in the next, 2.5 minutes now. I'm a human being. I have dignity. I'm going to resist. I'm going to start recognizing the propaganda. I'm going to break free from it. Humanity's going to come together. We know we're under attack. We know it. We're breaking the conditioning. you go. I just applied that kind of like a monkey would, not as good as a woman or somebody that's good at this stuff. And I can already feel it tightening. It already feels good, feels cool. It's pretty much dry now. And I'll go back, look at the time lapse, and it's pretty dramatic, at least in the past when I've done it. We'll see what happens here. It is instantly ageless, along with some other amazing products as well for the skin, supplements, energy. It's all amazing, cutting edge at InfoWarsYes.com. When you get the Jeunesse products there, you get big discounts. There's a lot of different specials. You can also sign up to be a distributor. And that helps fund the war against the globalists and help us continue to try to make America and the planet successful, capitalist, and free again. Wars are expensive. We're fighting one. We're winning. Thanks for your support. We try to bring you great products to make it easy to support us. And this one is a big winner. Instantly ageless from Jeunesse at InfoWarsYes.com. You can also find banners at InfoWars.com.
Just say yes to health, vitality, and opportunity only at InfoWarsYes.com.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Hey, Dallas. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
You found it, the tip of the spear. It is The Alex Jones Show.
You know, I love taking calls because the callers bring up things I forgot about or things I didn't know about. Adam, we're going to go to him in a moment, says Antifa, Obama's million-man army, are they one and the same, question mark? We're going to him second because I want to pull that video in. We haven't played in probably 2 years. Remember when he was candidate Obama? He said, we need a domestic military just as big, just as strong as our military. And then it shows the little kids trained to be paramilitary fighters against patriots in Chicago. And yes, the answer is that's the weatherman race-based race war model that Kanye West and others are fighting against. It's the globalists, and it's absolutely dastardly. So we're going to be talking about that. And people go, oh, Antifa, they're a bunch of idiots. They'll be used as the cover patsies, as the decoys for the real hit tapes. And you see them in the news and all these professors, and the top hashtag yesterday, kill Kavanaugh, and top professors saying they're going to murder him and cut his testicles off and murder his supporters. It's because we've let these people act like this and engage in criminal activity. They're out of control. We're talking about that in a moment. But first, we are ending the 40% off on Brain Force Plus, the amazing nootropic, tomorrow. We are ending the 40% off on Secret 12, the highest quality organic vitamin B12 you take under the tongue, tomorrow. The supplies of both of those are running very, very low. And we're not going to have more shipped until the middle of December. So I'm going to go back to regular price on both those products after tomorrow. I had said today was the last day to use PayPal at InfoWarsStore.com. When there's a protest, dump your wallet out and delete it. But I'd kind of forgotten. I kind of mentioned this last week. We did file suit on them last night. And we're not, all we're looking is for them to let us go to the lunch counter, get on the bus, get on the airplane, live in America, and not have them build straw men about us and then block us from the marketplace. So again, we need a lot of money to do this. We're fighting for everybody's rights here, ladies and gentlemen. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com. Sign up for auto ship and it locks in 10% off on that order and the next. You can cancel anytime with one click. Free shipping, order $50 or more. Every order, even though it's massively discounted, gets 5% Patriot points on each dollar that go in your account. InfoWarsStore.com has a lot of benefits. InfoWarsLife.com is the sub area that takes you right to the supplements. We have the books, the t-shirts. We have the best t-shirts we've ever had. Trump as a Spartan severing Medusa's head. Yes, it's Hillary. It's metaphorical. We don't want to actually cut her head off and make her a martyr. We're saying we severed her spiritual evil and now have the head as a weapon. It's very powerful. So I guess it's Trump as Perseus. Though he is wearing Roman guard traditionally, but it doesn't matter. It's awesome. I just love it. It's so obnoxious. I wear it out in public. It's so cartoonish. And then we've got the George Washington French and Indian War shirt. These are some of my favorites. They're all at InfoWarsStore.com. We have Forbidden Information, Alex Jones shirt, Reelect 45, Mean Like Wolverine, I Am the Resistance, and so much more at InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. By the way, most of these shirts are made in America. They're all printed here. The really soft fabric So some of these shirts cost us like $10. The average is like $8, $9. I was about to do a shirt that was $50 a piece. We didn't do it. We went ahead and killed it. It was too expensive. Because if I sell it at 20, we'll go bankrupt. You have the obnoxious InfoWars shirt, in your face InfoWars. It's like this big flaming, almost like, I don't know what color. It's beyond red. It really stands out. CNN's fake news. We got ball caps. We have the original shirt I designed 20 years ago. Mass murderers agree. Gun control works. We've got it all right there. The mole on lobby for men and women, InfoWarsStore.com. And we have the new Happies, mood and stress, all the known concentrated herbs that it's not depressants, that just make you calm and relaxed and focused at the same time. Very powerful formula. Other leading formulas are $50. Ours is normally retail $44. Well, it's half off out of the gates, $22.47. Believe me, you can't get a better deal. 2 ounces of it in palm oil. It's amazing. Happies, mood and stress, our newest product at InfoWarsStore.com. Okay. Let's go to your calls. Matt Bracken's coming up, but and he's good with this. He understands. I'm going to commandeer the first 2 segments I get to all of you. I will go to every one of these callers, or I'll slap myself, I guess. I mean, the point is, I'm going to try to get to all your calls here. Who's been holding the longest? Let's go to Josh in Arkansas. Josh in Arkansas, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hello, Alex. How you doing, my friend?
I'm in one hell of a fight, brother, but you know what? I'm counting on you. You're counting on me, and we've already changed the world, so let's get it done.
I can tell you that, we're all going through this thing together, and it's important that everybody listen and pay attention to everything that he's saying, that if we don't get informed with everybody that we're in this fight with, that we can't just sit them down and have an argument with the people on the other side, because it's obvious that they're being pushed propaganda that gives them ulterior things to post on the Facebook. You just got to get in their face. Just, take for instance, they think that the U.S. number 17646 is to overturn Roe. And it's all about, they think that the states and the separate sovereignty is exception to the double jeopardy law. So, I mean, what do you think about that, with them trying to keep Kavanaugh out of office and to delay it for so long just so this docket can get past the Senate?
I totally agree. They've got stuff stuck in the Supreme Court that they think they have the votes for right now that'll help them bring us into global government and block Trump. And Kavanaugh is a strict constructionist, and that's why they're scared of him. And absolutely, we need Kavanaugh in there right now because he has already told Trump he will execute Trump's operation.
They feel that Trump can pardon a lot of them if they have nothing to fear from the state attorneys, right? So in reality, they don't want to see the people that Obama pardoned at the end of his term when he turned loose all those cocaine dealers.
No, you're right. Kavanaugh is a strict constructionist. He believes in the unitary executive. He almost goes too far, but I agree. The executive is co-equal and emergencies more than equal. And he has said that he supports the executive pardoning whoever he wants, including himself. And again, it's all the voters. We put them in. That's the ultimate veto, is the impeachment. So barring impeachment,
exactly. We used to be able to blame the baby boomers for all of the political stuff and the troubles that we have, but now we have ourselves to blame. So it's important that everybody gets out and starts.
Exactly. The president cannot be a dictator as long as we elect him or as long as the Congress is there to impeach him. And he's been given all these extra powers. He's using them to give the power back to us. Trump doesn't want to be a dictator, like they say. He's destroying the executive power they gave him that's unconstitutional. Great points, Josh. Let's go to another caller here. And these idiots, I'm not mad at them, but I shouldn't call them idiots because a few of them are my friends. Jason Burmis. I watched like 5 minutes of the video, him going, Alex Jones wants martial law and tanks driving up down the street. Jason, I didn't say that. I said, we're already under martial law that Obama put in place with executive orders, and his people are operating under those. And that's what Trump hasn't figured out yet, why these groups are in mutiny. Trump needs to declare his own emergency to nullify the last emergency before they do a 25th Amendment, which even CNN admits is political Armageddon. It's Antifa wants war on the streets. It's the liberal professors saying kill conservatives. They're the ones saying burn down the cities. They're the ones saying civil emergency. I'm saying we have to treat the emergency they're creating like it is. And if we let them launch this emergency, we're going to be in an emergency. And they're not going to be following the law. So what are we going to do once it's the law of the jungle? It's like somebody saying, I don't want to get in a fight. Somebody punches you right in the nose. And you go, well, I'm not going to get in a fight. You're already in a fight. See, I'm ranting now. I made it so clear in those shows I did that I don't want full martial law, which means tanks in the street and lining people up and shooting them. They already want that. They've said they want that. They say they're under a civil emergency Obama put in place to shut down independent media. And he signed the executive orders and they had hearings about it to shut me down. I'm experiencing martial law. It just means not following the Constitution Bill of Rights. What do you think it is when all the big tech companies work in unison to ban me and now they're trying to take our banking? And they've got Soros suing me. What do you think that is? That is extrajudicial garbage. So all I'm saying is, if the Democrats start rioting and burning cities, and they bring in a civil emergency they've said they already want, and they're trying to burn up the White House, it's not martial law if the president calls out the military to protect the White House. It's the military protecting us from Chi-Com globalist-funded enemies that have already staged an emergency. So I'm saying we better start getting used to the thought of what we're going to do. It's like police. They have a threat force continuum, a force continuum of you do this, they do that. And it goes up, 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 up to the point of you pull a gun, they pull a gun and shoot you. And so I don't want cops to pull guns and shoot people. I don't want to pull guns if Antifa comes to my house. I don't want any of this. But Antifa says they're going to come to members of Congress in ICE's house and kill them. The members of Congress that have been targeted in ICE need to take it and expect that they're coming. Understand? And then when you blow their ass off, they're going to call you a tyrant and call it martial law. Hey, you're the ones opening the door to the bull, dumbasses. I'm not looking for any trouble, but if you're looking for a fight, you came to the right place, because I'm not backing down to any of you people. Only thing I'm backing down to is God and God's.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
That's right. The InfoWars app is back and available for Android and iOS devices. The InfoWars app skyrocketed in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. What was Apple's response? To ban the increasingly popular InfoWars app from the Apple App Store. The InfoWars app is still available in the Google Play Store for Android users, but it won't be long until they too ban it. Here's the good news. InfoWars is steps ahead of the globalists and their censorship agenda. Our info techies have created InfoWars APK, where you can directly download the InfoWars app to Android and iOS devices, such as your iPhone or tablet. Just simply go to InfoWarsAPK.com. Android users, tap the blue button that says Download Android App and follow the download process. iOS users, you can view the installation instructions by tapping here for instructions, or just click the Get button, which will take you to the app's main page. Find the icon that has the arrow leaving the box at the bottom of your screen and tap it. A menu of icons will appear. Slide the menu until you see the home screen icon and tap it. And voila, the InfoWars web app is now on your home screen. Circumvent the globalist attempts to restrict your access to tomorrow's news today. Go to InfoWarsAPK.com. InfoWarsAPK.com.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones.
The preacher man says it's the end of time, and the Mississippi River, she's a gold dry. The interest is up and the stock market's down. And
Cynthia Farhat, beautiful, smart, courageous woman. Her brother was tortured. They tried to kill her. She lives in the U.S. now. She exposed the Muslim Brotherhood, the whole Islamic Terror plan. She called in today. We confirmed it's her. She's going to be a guest next week. She talked about, hey, don't worry, I got totally banned in Egypt, but once Patriots got back control, now I'm in all the major papers. They don't censor a damn word I say, including typos. So that's exciting. By the way, Trump's responded again to InfoWars banning. He's going to give him one more chance before he drops the mega hammer on him. Because he's got the reports in his hands. Trump meet with Google CEO, social media companies later this month. He said, I won't mention any names, but when they take certain people off Twitter or Facebook and they're making that decision, it's really dangerous. But because that could be anyone tomorrow, Trump said. So when I had law firms write up reports for him 7 weeks ago, that's when they decided to ban me. They went 8 when our reports from top law firms got to the president. I gave them all examples of what they were doing. And you keep doing that because they're going to stonewall, but it's out of control. Matt Bracken's coming up in about 15 minutes, former Navy SEAL, best-selling author, great researcher. He'll have a ton of information for you. We're going to your calls right now. Go ahead and talk to Adam. Now, I'll do Adam in Texas next segment. I have plenty of time for him because I have the clip now about what he's talking about and how Antifa is Obama's million-man army. So we'll go to that in a moment. But let's go to Chris in Illinois. You're on the air. Thanks for holding, Chris.
Hey, Alex. Good afternoon.
Welcome.
I'm on the ground here in Chicago. I especially food rep, and business has never been better. Thanks to Trump, man. I mean, there's places opening up all over the place. With this Kavanaugh thing, my wife's a social worker. She's not very conservative, but I'm telling you, she's at her wit's end with this, and she's pissed, and a lot of her friends are pissed. And I've never seen her she doesn't get on Facebook and comment back to people, but she's getting it. She called me today, and she's like, Chris, what should I say?
I know women that are more kind of libertarian liberal, and they're all pissed about Kavanaugh and don't believe any of this. In fact, I'm not just saying that to say, oh, look, there's a woman wave. Women I know particularly in family, you name it, do not buy a damn thing she says. Has your wife told you why?
Well, she responded to one of her friends today, and she said, yeah, the women. But she said, what about my son? My son is going to be accused by a girl of just about anything and never be able to refute it. I mean, she was literally in tears, Alex. And then I kind of parlayed it because I'm a little more hardcore. I've been writing papers about this stuff since college, Skull and Bones and the Bushes and all the Nazi crap and all that. But anyway, I told her, I said, Jill, there's a reason why they act maniacal like this. There's the reason you cannot reason with them is this is demonic. This is about their sacrament to death and the blood of the unborn.
Exactly. They don't even know it. It is a spiritual thing with the left. When you finally come to grips, because I'd hear Army colonels and 3-star generals at dinner and FBI guys when I was like 20, going to meetings and hearing about the New World Order. And they'd be like, well, at the end of the day, they're devil worshippers and pedophiles. And I'd be like, these guys are crazy. And then I started researching it, and it's all true.
Well, and the thing is, I think the slowly people are awakening, and I think the most shocking things are yet to come. But you know what, Alex, what I do, the most effective tool, I'm in sales, right? So my job is to sell you. So I work with people, and I was out with coworkers, and they're like, Alex Jones this, Alex Jones that. And I said, can you specifically name why you don't like him? They can't, And then when we get into these conversations, I just go back to the basics. I just lay it out. I say, have you ever heard of Operation Cyclone? I'll bring that up. We create our own problems, our imperialism, this type of thing. So once you lay out the basics of these
they're just stunned. Exactly. And Operation Cyclone was the whole fake thing to stop Trump and set him up for Russiagate by Obama. Great points. God bless you, Chris.
Whether you're
right now is massive rampage force. Go ahead.
Alex, last night I was on with Laura Ingraham, and I had done the Alex Jones show yesterday. I'd done the War Room. She's not on until 9:40 Central. That's 10:40 Eastern. I was exhausted. I popped 2 Brain Force Plus, and I was good as new. I mean, it really is mentally stabilizing, mentally energizing. Tonight, I'm on with Tucker Carlson. The same thing. I'm going to put in a full day here at InfoWars.
Oh, come on. What is these guys doing?
I'm going to go on with Tucker tonight. Thank goodness for this great
overpacking. Yeah, you little bastards. Come on.
my all-time favorite because it's so effective and it doesn't give you that.
Yeah. Part of it's whatchamacallit, but pissing me off.
Jacked up energy drink feeling, you know, you can sleep with it.
Okay, they might be winning. Because I sure ain't grinning. All right. What do I do?
And when you stack it with the red pill, the mind body com.
Yeah. All right. They done pissed me off now, little bastards.
And so people ask why I haven't evacuated Central.
They're taking me down, guys.
Texas. Look, the globalist left in Google and Facebook only have downtown. Everybody else is libertarian or conservative. But California is collapsing and they are invading it.
Yep.
That's their real invasion force. Their real army are their zombies that